Good afternoon and welcome to the Adelaide Footy League Matchday Live. We welcome you to the very picturesque Adelaide University for the Big Round 2 clash between Adelaide University and last season's runner-up Prince Alfred College. Today's live stream is presented to you by Filming Footy, in partnership with Dartfish and Sports Interactive. And now, here's your expert commentary team: Phil Hurden, Sean Jacko Jackson, and Tony, the coach's coach, Neil.
Thank you, Mystery Voiceover Man. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to University Oval, round 2 of the Adelaide Footy League 2020 season. And what a game we've got. Prince Alfred Collegians up against Adelaide University, the Reds and the Blacks. Looking forward to this one. My name's Phil Hurden. You're watching the B grade in action at the moment, where it is Prince's 10-4-64, Adelaide Uni 5-9-39, 14 and a half minutes gone of the final quarter. So I'm Phil Hurden, joined by the voice of the Adelaide Footy League, Tony Neal. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, Phil. And listen, last week we just got chopped off a little bit, and I'd like to welcome our viewers internationally. We've got them from all over Europe, South Africa, USA, Great Britain and India, Sean. And
main God.
Also Australia-wide. I've got a lot of friends over in country Victoria and WA watching as well, so welcome to our viewers. And just a little bit geographically, for where we are about 200 metres from Adelaide Oval, just out the back here. Came past the Parklands today. There was long distance running, lacrosse, and we can see on the screen right over in the back there, Sean, the D grade and C grade are playing as well. Magnificent here.
Yeah, and of course, if you are, wherever you are watching from, if you're watching us live on the YouTube feed, we've got the chat. We'd love you to say good day, share your thoughts. We'll keep an eye on that as the afternoon progresses. Just be a part of the coverage. A key part of our coverage is our designated expert, four-time premiership coach, Sean Jacko Jackson. Jacko, welcome to Uni Oval.
Thanks, Phil. Great to be. It's actually Park 12. They like to refer to this as Park 12. And we're sitting in a beautiful vantage point in a nice little setup overlooking the newly named Fred Block Oval, which is where the lower grades play. This setup had been here when I was coaching. I'd probably still be here, Phil. No bar back in those days. It was a dry footy club, but now it's a whole new ball game. I wish I was coaching here now. It's a very nice setup.
Yeah, hard to believe. 1885, Adelaide Union Princes first played. Of course, that was well before there was an Adelaide University Footy Club, let alone a Prince Alfred Footy Club. Adelaide University, they claim themselves as the greatest football club in the world. 103 premierships over their 114-year history. Although it's fair to say, when you look at their stats over the last 5 years, not a lot of success. They've just sat there, 7 or 8 wins a year, sitting 7th to 8th position in Div 1.
Yeah. Well, look, I guess it depends on how you gauge success. I would think that success for Adelaide University is almost maintaining their position in Division 1. Such a tough division, and for different reasons, they're always in a battle, or they certainly have been over the last 5 or 6 years. They're in battle just to try and avoid relegation. This year we know the circumstances have changed. There is no relegation. They can afford to play a few more young kids, and they do have a young side. So it'll be interesting to see how that transpires today. But yeah, certainly a proud footy club. I guess they have had over the journey 7 or 8 men's sides. I'm not sure how many women's sides they have now, but it is a big football club. And if you're a young university student, it's a great place to play football.
They have made some late changes all over the shop from the team that was announced on Thursday, or the team that played last week. Damien Cunningham, Will Ballard, Hamish Crouch and Jackson Deering are out. Coming in, Tully Kennett, Harry Wellington, Nick Langridge and Alex Moore. The players, who will you be looking at for this afternoon?
Yeah, look, certainly Damien Cunningham's a big loss. He's the captain, the best player. Centre-half back, he's the go-to player out of the back half. He sets them up, so covering him will be a real challenge for big Benny Watkins today. Big bowler. The coach has had a lot of experience coaching. You know, he coached at Parscale in his own right, and then he had a long apprenticeship at West Adelaide and Woodville West Torrens as an assistant coach. So going now into his first full year. The players, though, to watch are Ben Edwards, kicked 7 goals in his first game last week for Adelaide Uni, ex-Port Magpies. I'm really looking forward to see Jack Strange play. Good story about Jack. He was third best in Port Magpies prelim final win last year and dropped for the grand final.
Oh, yes.
So he'd be pretty disappointed about that, but I'm looking forward to see him and Ryan Marini change on the ball. And I guess the one that the uni people would be really excited about is the return of Seb Painter, 5 times best and fairest winner. I think there are 2 other men, and which one of the new recruits this year, Ollie Olkans.
Oh, yes, from the Roosters?
Yeah,
Maris.
his father's... Yeah, Maris, his father's won 5 best and fairest here. So if Seb can have a good year, and when he's 6, he'll be outright best and fairest winner.
So that's why they've sent the son in to try and stop the record from being...
Correct.
The way that things work in this level of football. So Adelaide Uni, just last week they lost 15 points to only Mercedes. Led at 6 points at half-time, but were outscored 5 goals to 2. 7 of the 10 goals, as you mentioned, by Ben Edwards.
Yep.
They need, I guess, probably learn how to spread it around a bit.
Yeah, well, you can't this day and age be relying on one player. But one of the things we did talk about on the show this week was it was great to see the big power forwards right across the competitions kick a lot of goals last week. And so I'm really looking forward to see Ben playing. If the rain holds out, I should say, and I know we're expecting a little bit of rain, it'll be nice to see him get another bag.
Well, on the flip side, we're calling them the rampant red-hot favourites. The Red Men of Prince Alfred Old Collegians took care of Goody Saints last week by 57 points. Of course, a few years ago they won Div 2 and matched it with a Div 1 premiership straight afterwards. Last year, lost to Payneham Norwood Union by less than a goal in a final quarter that they dominated, but maybe didn't quite execute all the opportunities that they had to steal the win. I think that has actually steeled them for a big season. And Tony, you've had a look at Princes. How do you think they'll perform today?
Yeah, Phil, look, they've got a great blend of players across the park. I spoke with the coach last night and I just said, look, what's your squad looking like, young, mid and experienced players? And he said, look, it's just a great blend of players, and they're not going to overthink the conditions today with the talls and the mid and the smalls. They've got confidence in their talls, and one of the things he did say was that some of the talls are very good with, they're really a link-up player. They're more than just a ruckman or a tall. They can play other areas around the ground, athletes as such. So really looking forward to a ding-dong battle here. I think they're going to be very strong. Some of the players to watch, and I'll get Sean to comment on this a little bit later as the game goes on, but they're absolutely smattered through both teams with AFL and SANFL experience. So players to watch, everyone will know here. Jack Trengove, straight out of SANFL off an AFL list last year, so he'll be one to watch. Was 4th best last week. So Jack Trengove. One I'm going to really keep an eye on is young Ben O'Donoghue. When I say young, he's probably 30 plus now, but very smart, good football IQ. Come to the club, I think, in his 2nd year. Was off the Crows SANFL list as well, so keep an eye out for him. Oliver Clark, I've just got a little bit of a tip about Oliver Clark that he can, you'll be watching, he's a real spring-heeled jack, so he can really get up high and take the big marks, and so we'll be watching him on a wing. Number 24 now, Thomas Brinsley, we say congratulations, 150 games, captain of the club, and I was speaking with one of his ex-coaches, and he has said he's the best leader that he's seen as a captain, so fantastic for Thomas Brinsley. And of course Cameron Pritchard, number 33, was the best player for them last week, so we'd be expecting to see if he can back up again today.
Just to give you some scores from the minor grades, it is all over in the B grade. Princes have got up, that's 10-4-64 to Adelaide Uni. That is 6-10-46, so relatively same scoring shots there, but Prince Alfred made the most of their opportunities. In the C grade earlier, don't have the exact scores, but I've been reliably informed that it was Adelaide Uni who got up in C1 this afternoon by about 2 goals, about 59-47. Alrighty, well, we've had a look at both teams as Adelaide Uni's about to head out onto the field. Princes already making over. We're going to have a look at Tony. You've got the Elders weather app.
Well, I have, Phil, and thank you very much to Elders again. I'm just getting it up here, and we see today the weather is 13 degrees at the moment. We're expecting rain maybe about 40 minutes away, so during the second quarter, about 60% chance of rain. So currently the wind is 15 kilometres westerly. So if you're watching at home, that's coming straight back over our heads here in the commentary position or towards the cameras. 60% chance of rain. So thank you very much to Elders. And also the pie temperature. Well, so Phil, what have we got there?
Give us
a look here.
I've got the sausage roll, so the Villies sausage roll.
The Villies?
It's perfect because, look, it's an overcast day. It's July. Oval looks in great nick, I should say that as well. But
does too.
Thank you to Villies, and of course, if you're not up for a full sausage roll, don't forget you can grab the party items as well. Don't have a big party if you're in Victoria, like the poor blokes who ordered the KFC and ended up with 26,000 invites. But in South Australia, it's okay. Grab your Villies pies and have a party.
So have a chomp, Phil. Give us an idea on that temperature. How is it? Yeah, no, I thought that's what he said, folks. So there you go. A Villies sausage roll, pie or pasty at the footy. Nothing better. The game's about to break out here as we're all having a little bit of a snack here, Sean. And
yes, indeed.
Cannot wait for this one. Ding-dong battle.
Yeah, do you think the conditions favour any side? At the moment, it's perfect for footy, isn't it? There's not a breath of wind. The rain's held off. The ground's in good condition. I know, speaking of big Benny Watkins during the week, he thought that, that they were going to try and get a running game, some good speed on the outside, so he's hoping for dry conditions. Well, that's what he's got, so there's no excuses, is there? You're up against the best side, or the side touted to be the best side in the competition. What better way to get your first win for the season?
Well, they were competitive against only just a 15-point loss, and we're still waiting to see where only fit into the scheme of things. The Oval, Jacko, you've been here many a time. Look, obviously gets a lot of work with all the teams that practice, but to me looks in very good nick, especially in the centre. There's no bog here today.
Look, this oval is clearly known as the best oval in the competition surface-wise. So the curators are the same people that look after Adelaide Oval. I think the same team look after this, and it's always in good condition. It's very rarely affected by rain. There's a few little soft spots, but it is known as the best oval in the competition.
Over and above Karen Rolton?
Well, that's not in the same competition. They're in different.
Fair call. I did, just on that, I did go out and have a look at half-time now. That centre area is really quite firm. I'm not sure. Yeah, it comes up on the screen looking quite firm as well. I wouldn't like to be dumped on that area today. It's fairly solid, mate. Yeah, I had a bit of a walk around. There's no mud out there or anything, so fantastic conditions there.
There are a couple of players that play for Sturt play for Uni who play cricket for Sturt who could probably give us a better report on the pitch, cricket pitch.
Captain's coming out for the coin toss, Tony. I'll get you to keep an eye on that. As I mentioned, of course, we'll have stats through the day, thanks to Lockie, and of course the Dartfish stats. And at the end of the game, we'll have the Dartfish player of the game who'll get the exclusive Dartfish beanie. And who won the toss? So
Uni won it, and they're going to the right of screen, Seb Painter. I'll tell you what, it was like the Mexican standoff there. The coin went up, it landed. It almost rusted before they sort of looked at each other. And then Seb pointed to our right of screen, and of course Tom Brinsley's 150th. Just a little one I've noticed already. I sort of got to be excited last week, and I'm looking at who might be our cult following of the day, and I see big number 16 for Adelaide Uni is Jack Strange with the really bright yellow boots out there. But there's another lad, I'll pick him out in a moment there, with he's sort of got the 50% haircut done. He's got the sides really short and done back, and then just walked out of the barber shop. So we'll get an idea on it. There he is, number 33. Now that's good on him. I hope he can play well. That's young
Pritchard.
Cam Pritchard, the best player. Well, of course he can play, so good on him. If you're going to wear it, you can play well.
As we go around, now's a good time, Tony, to give us your tip and margin. Of course, we do have a lunch or a drink after based on the worst performer giving something to the best performer. That was you to me last week, so you get to go first.
That's right, and I'm going to pick Prince Alfred by 35 points. A little bit different to our Between the Posts.
Yes, I thought I remembered you putting Uni on Between the Posts. And
35 points.
35 points, yeah. Well, for me, it's PAC by 42 points.
Ooh,
well, when they met in 1885, it was Prince Alfred, a mixture of league players and old boys, 4-11 to Adelaide Uni 1-1. The margin was 28 points. Being the romantic at heart, I'm going to go with a repeat margin this afternoon. probably, hopefully, a different scoreline. So we're all saying Princes. I was 28. Jacko, you were...
36.
30.
No, I was 35. You were 40.
Yeah, if I go
42.
36, any margin above,
Okay.
I'm
Jacko,
covered.
you were 42. Okay, and I'm 28. Just a reminder, some games around the rest of the OTR Division 1. We'll give you some scores half-time and at the end of the game. Ross Trevor Old Collegians Rocks are hosting Unley Mercedes. Bryson at Edwardstown are hosting Paynham. Goodwood and St. Peter's. Can St. Peter's repeat their result of last week? And two teams needing a bounce back from last week, Port District and Athelston. The umpires today, Frankie Manikikas and Matt Harris in the middle. Will give you the others shortly. But we are set to rock and roll thanks to Sports Interactive Production and Filming Footy. This is our game of the day, and you're with Tony Neal.
And it's Charlie Parsons for Adelaide Uni up against Thomas Spanofkis, or Spanner. Up it goes, and just a middle tap there, ball bobbling around the middle. We might see a second ball. Trying to break free there was an Adelaide Uni player, and he's picked up the free kick, and that will be our first
Ben
one.
Adams.
Is Ben Adams. Oh, quick handball across. So they've come out to the commentary side of the ground, inside 50, first entry, a nice
Nick
mark
Langridge.
there. Thank you very much.
No, Nick Langridge back into the side. Very experienced player, though. You wouldn't tell that from that
That's
kick,
right.
although he's got it back again. He's building up the stats, is young Nick. But it's cleared away from PAC, unfortunately. A nice spoil there from, not sure who that player is from Adelaide Uni, number 2. His Guernsey number's not on our sheet. Nick Langridge gets it
Alex
back again. And it's headed in the way of Maris Olakans, who's kicked it long. Is that Ben Edwards? I think it is, boys.
It is.
First shot on goal, coming off of kicking 7. That was Alex Moore, by the way, on the wing. And Ben Edwards to have first shot on goal.
Look, it's all Adelaide Uni. I'll tell you what, last week Adelaide Uni led Unley early, and Goody Saints led Princes early. So if Princes can be got, maybe it's early in the contest. And always important, you're big forward, and look, 7 out of 10 doesn't get bigger than that.
Nice
if
size.
he can shoot straight like we saw Liam Davis do last week.
So he's coming in now. He's, 45 out, I reckon, slight angle. I reckon he should be a Monty for this, and that's the commentator's curse, isn't it, as he comes in. Nice drop, a little bit high, and just hooked it a little bit left. Hasn't quite made the distance, bobbling around. Is that a mark?
Paid, yes.
Oh, he's played on too. Just shot it out there to the pocket, so probably 30 metres out. Bit of a tighter angle. What do you reckon, Sean? Is he going to run in straight, or is he going to hook it around? I'll ask Stevie J.
I think he's going to go for the drop punter, but I really like the play from number 28 from the Adelaide Uni side. I'm sorry, no, it was Ben Edwards that kicked it in. 29, was it, that kicked it, took the mark and then passed it off quickly. And we've got a shot on goal from about 45, fairly acute angle. Looks good off the boot. Just doesn't quite hold its line, but it is the first score of the game. Adelaide Uni 1 point. They probably look for the siren. It's Big Jolly. He's going to kick the ball in from PAC, and why wouldn't you? He's the best kick in the competition. Kicks it to another really good player in Perryman.
Oh.
Beautiful left foot. And he's found Ollie Clark on the wing. Phil?
So Ollie Clark has it. Needs to find an opponent downfield, or needs to find a teammate downfield, but he finds an opponent who lays the tackle. Princes are just struggling to get it off half back at the moment. And that's a hold in the ball for mine. It was too slow by Brinsley, the 150. No present there from Adelaide Uni. Here's the shot on goal from towards the boundary. That was taken by Olakans, but he's missed and has missed everything. It'll be a throw-in just in front of the rainbow. The visiting change rooms. It's Adelaide Uni 1, Prince Alfred Old Collegians 0, and you're with Tony Neal.
So the ball just coming in right behind, right next to the post there as it comes in. A lot of players around the ball. Haven't seen too much of Trengove at the moment. Just in and out there. 2 handballs. I'll tell you what, I've been taking a note of this. That's the 5th smother already, and we're 3 minutes into the game. And I was talking with the Princes coach last night, and he said one of the keys to the game is control the tempo of the game. Well, you have to get the ball in your hand first, boys. And 3 minutes in, I don't think Prince have been past halfway. So up it goes again. Nice tap just to the boundary side there, and that's a nice kick, Bryce Woolard. So bobbling around. But here they come again, Adelaide Uni, just a little bit of a smother. Can they get out? There's the big ruckman. I've got a bit of stuff on him, so it's inside out, check side. Now the on-ballers have to run onto it. They're not going to get there in time. 3-on-1, he's done really well. Handballs inside, a little bit of trouble here, ball on the ground. Up it comes Adelaide Uni, just composed back there, Sean.
Yeah, I'm really liking what the energy they're bringing early, Adelaide Uni. Just not getting a reward for effort inside their 50. Would have liked to have seen young Olikans kick the ball into Edwards earlier on. I thought he had a nice little chip around the corner. He could have centred the ball, and Uni would have had their first shot on goal from
closer range.
Yeah, 15, 20 metres, and he elected to go the goal and missed a bad miss. But, I think you've been a little bit generous when you talk about 5 smothers. To me, it looked like 3 times they've kicked it straight into the man. Both sides have been guilty of that. Will Dowd kicks over to Brinsley in his 150th, goes short, finds the young kid Clark. Got a bit of toe, this boy. Handballs, puts him into a little bit of trouble there. Adam Perryman. It's turned over. Jack Strange, the old Port Magpies boy off the halfback flank, has found Nick Langridge. As we said, very experienced player. Would hate to see him kick into the man on the mark again.
Surely you don't do that twice in a game.
Well, he's got big Will Dowd standing on the mark, who's 6'4", so there is a chance he could kick it into the man on the mark, Phil.
He could indeed. Comes in with the shot. No issue with that one. Right over the goal umpire's cap. We have ourselves the first sausage roll of the afternoon, thanks to Villies. And it is Adelaide Uni off to a flyer. All the shots on goal thus far, they are 1-1-7. Prince's yet to score. And Jacko is our man who's the expert on Adelaide Uni. Where is this drive coming from the Blacks?
I'll tell you what they've done. They've done something I've never, ever seen in a game of footy
Ever.
before, Phil. Ever. This is groundbreaking, folks. Have a look at their forward structure. They've got number 27, 28 and 29 on the full forward line, and their half forward line is 25, 26. The only bloke who has stuffed the whole thing up is Maris. Olikans at number 10. Please, someone get Maris to 24, Guernsey.
Or 30.
Or 30, and we would have game, set and match, and it would be all over.
We'd have a Royal Black flush.
Seb Painter, 5 times best and fairest, catches that ball on the wing, half-back flank. Looks to bring the ball in, and what you get there is a really good contest from Nick Cottrell. Brings the ball forward again. Nick Langridge, he's in everything. He does tend to get the ball smothered a bit though.
Well, maybe this kick's a bit predictable as it ends up now. This is Tom Fisher, one of the best forward movements so far for Princes. There hasn't been a lot, but good pickup. And that is, I think, is Aidan Offey. He puts it into some space on the zoo wing here at Adelaide Uni. But Princes have it, and they'll centre up, Tony, and it will be Hayden Jolly to send them forward.
Yeah, and he's popped that inside there, and that's Cameron Pritchard. So this is that tempo maybe that they were talking about. There's our Colt man. Look at the haircut. Good on him. So let's just see. He's just propped. They set this up before out of the back line. They come wide. They go around, a bit like Port Adelaide a couple of years ago. So 15 now is Adam Perryman. He's had a bit of it already. On the left foot, nice style too, but congested forward line. Look at that pack there. Just about a grab. No, around this way. Out it comes. So they're going to clear again here, Adelaide Uni. They've just taken a step back, come inside. This will just be a bomb. No, very clever use there. I'll see who that player was there, but that's Harry Wellington with the ball at the moment. So they've gone backwards. So could be a mirror image of game plans here, going sideways, backwards. I'll tell you what, that's the one, Sean, that's got a stick, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, look at too much watching TV there, and this is what's happened as a result.
That was a shot by Tom Bartlett, courtesy of the turnover from the Blacks. Could have been disaster, instead it's a point.
I just lost my 45 seconds there.
So keep going, Jacko, sorry.
Here's the kick in. Adelaide Uni just outside 50, and that's a nice grab by Nicholas Cottrell.
Yeah, he looks lively, doesn't he? He's presented quite nicely. I'll tell you who also has been very impressive early, boys, apart from language, is Aidan Offey on the far wing with a long-sleeve Guernsey. Yep. Apparently spent 3 years on the Crows top-up, Phil. You might have had a chance to see him before, have you?
No. I mean, there are quite a few, and they usually get a game here, game there, and come back. They sort of are very interchangeable, which, of course, are interchanges here, thanks to Interchanger, Tony.
So, Jack Trengave's just come off, and I don't reckon we've called him 8 minutes into the game. He may have had a touch or two, but he's just come off for an interchange.
I worked out what his problem is.
And has not had a touch. So, anyway, I'll tell you what, the Blacks, if they can just mop this up, they've come inside. That's gutsy football. Inside and then outside, so a high kick up along the wing here, and getting up high, almost taken that was Thomas Bateman. So just a bang kick, wasn't it? Panic kick back, and that's Seb Painter. They really haven't got a lot of structure at the moment, Prince Alfred, but might just take them a couple of minutes. Look at the space out this side of the ground as Hamish Wallace it is, very lightly built. Geez, I'll tell you what, that's gutsy. They're the kicks that have to hit. They're going to come back into centre half back. And they're going to, you can almost overdo that, but they've got out of trouble. Handball. Now, are they set up out this side? Because I'm going to talk about this later in the game. can the teams keep sustaining this effort? If you're going to set up out here, you've got to run hard to get there, and in the second half of the game, it's going to catch you.
Yeah, what's pretty obvious to me early, boys, is that Adelaide Uni are putting a couple of players back behind the ball, and we've got a really defensive game, and I hope it doesn't end up reflecting on the scoreboard like what we see at AFL footy, but there are 2 players loose for both sides in the back half. Now, it's working effectively for Uni at the moment, and as I speak, here is Nick Langridge again going long, or short, should I say, to Edwards. But it's well defended there by PAC, and he runs on beautifully, Ryan Tromans. Gives it to your man, Benny O'Donoghue. He feeds out the back to Tom Sumner. But once again, it's cut off at the centre-half back line by Adelaide Uni.
Well, I worked out what Trengove's issue was. He's wearing dull grey boots.
Oh.
He needs something fluorescent, bright.
Can't see you, Jack.
That's it. Can't see you, can't call you. As he's about to come back on, let's see if the word from the coach. Well, it's also Craig Peters on the silent mode. Now they've had a chat. It's going to be Uni with the clearance. Football. Here they go. Ollie Carnes onto Strange. Past Langridge. Can he pick it up under intense pressure? 40 metres out, 30 metres out, straight in front. It's going to be a stoppage.
That bit of play there, 3 or 4 players, and they ran as a team, Sean.
Fantastic football that was.
Yep.
You get excited as a commentator when you see them take off in a wave.
Just ruined by the kick at the end, wasn't it? The length, the run, beautiful, and then just didn't quite hit Langridge on the end of it. But
so here they come, Princes just out wide, releasing kick, doesn't hit. Trengove's back on now in the back pocket. Probably 2 former teammates last year against each other now. And ball just dribbles out. Is that right? 29 was...
no, Langridge. No.
He wasn't?
Uni.
No.
Uni.
Okay, well, not former teammates.
No, they hate each other.
So ball coming in about 15 metres around from the point post. Beautiful thrown by that boundary umpire, might I say. Oh, guts there, holding up the ball. Here's the question, gentlemen. If you go to Prince Alfred and you're a scholastic type of person and then you go to university and you go to Adelaide Uni, who do you play for? Silence is definitely right.
Yes.
So ball up,
Free kick for
Think about
Simon
that one.
Charlie. He normally plays as a defender. He's a bit of a swingman. He's been a good long-term servant at the Adelaide Uni Footy Club. I think he might be playing his 200th game this year, but certainly gettable goal, 45-degree angle, 30 metres out. Not sure whether he'll kick this, but I'd like to think he could kick this. They deserve this, Adelaide Uni. Their play's been good, and he is all at sea. Unfortunately, pushed the ball to the far side, and that's another point. That takes the scoreboard out to Adelaide Uni 1 goal, 2 to Prince Alfred 1 point. But a great start by Uni, just not quite getting... We'll get the inside 50s to you shortly, because to me, it's they would be...
So Perryman now is the new one kicking in. So he's the left footer.
Beautiful kicker.
So I reckon and he's played on. We've seen a little bit of this, so get that right outside 50. That'll be 2 kicks back if Uni happen to get it, but it bobbles out of bounds right in front of our beautiful commentary position here. And so the umpire about to throw up.
Big Charlie Parsons, that was. He's back at the club this year from Sydney University. Gives them a bit of height in the ruck. And, yes, the inside 50, 6 to Uni, 3 to Prince Alfred at this stage, 2 to 1. Once again, good work away from the stoppage. Ends up with Big Charlie. He kicks it forward. Will Doward puts a bit of pressure on. The ball ends up going out of bounds. But not a bad effort there from Tommy Bateman, whose role in the Adelaide Uni forward line is to make a contest, and that's what he did there. Phil?
So the throw in, 7th inside 50 for Adelaide Uni. Stats thanks to Lockie and, of course, Dartfish. We've got a stoppage. We've got a few Cheerios. We've got Peter M. congratulating Bomber, as in Tom Brinsley for his 150. We've got Blake watching from Sydney, Khan the Reds. And we've got John watching from Colac. Oh, no, it's not. It's COVID.
COVID. Everyone's got COVID in Victoria.
And that's, of course, on the YouTube.
Beautiful handball.
Here he comes! That's 2 he's had a shot at. Jeez. He's not going to win that best and fairest if he misses those.
How was the handball from Seb Painter?
Beautiful, wasn't it? Slicey.
Right on cue. They're winning the clearance as well.
Now let's have a look at the kick in. I'm interested. I'm a bit of a doctor in this. So he goes short this time. They normally give you the release kick. It's the next one that's important. So just on the 50 there, and it's slightly bit. Oliver Clark. This is a player to watch today as well. Nice kick. Now there's 3 possessions outside 50. Players are just milling around. There's not a lot of movement there. There's 1 player on his own out there. Now they're going to come this side. Now, if you get a wide shot, you can see players all streaming out this side of the ground. They're setting up, but it goes back down. Nice kick, though, down the wing, and that's a good, strong grab. And I reckon one of the keys to the game today is the team that can stick to their task for the longest. So concentrate and stick to their game plans and so on for the longest in the quarters and the games. They're going to come out on top.
Right, I know it was Mitch Wicks that ball was directed to, and Mitch and Tom are the two Mitch and Tom Wicks wines. Not a bad drop for about 15, 18 bucks a bottle of Shiraz, Mitch and Tom Shiraz from the Wicks estate. Anyway, unfortunately, the ball's rolled out of bounds, and it's on the half-back line, or half-forward line, I should say, for PAC. Been stroke, Trengo gets a hand on that footy. Probably going to end up with it back here. No, he pushes hard forward. Nice kick forward for PAC. Good competition from the uni defender there, and ends up with another ball up just around from the behind post. PAC would be looking to get a score on from this forward entry field.
Yeah, Eddie Sims, the defender there, ensuring it goes out of bounds. So sort of in the junction there of a soccer pitch, the Fred Block Oval, and of course the main oval here. Another tap down. Adelaide Junior winning the clearances. That time it was Charlie Parsons, who I think is doing very well in ruck.
Yeah, agree there.
They're getting their first touch. And the other thing, I mean, it's one thing to get first touch, gentlemen, but it's then getting the ball out. On this occasion, another throw in. Tony, let's see if you can clear it.
Yeah,
or if PAC can get a score.
So Parsons, I've really liked his start, and he sets up that kick behind the play in general play. Here he is again, bustling, gets a left hand to it. Have a look at the amount of black jumpers around there. Just as you can see, they're just on the outside of that pack. There's no one out this side of the ground, so up it goes. Oh, big run in. Player grabbed hold of it and let go of there, so a quick bomb out, and it's just going to dribble across the boundary line there on that far side. So players will just walk down there probably 30 metres and set up again, and Princes have got an opportunity here.
Yep, if we can get a long shot here, we see back behind the footy, PAC have got 1, 2, 3 players without a direct opponent. So this is what I was alluding to earlier on. Both sides playing a very defensive game, and at this stage that's working really well for Uni because they've been able to clog it up, PAC, and then transfer the ball from their back half. If they could get better result going forward, well, they deserve probably to be 2-3 goals up.
So Hayden Jolly got a hand pass out. Ends up with Tom Weeks just outside 50. He's going to kick for a very crowded goal square. Of course, it's nothing to stop a kick socket out of nowhere. On this occasion, lots of appealing for holding the ball. It's not cricket season, but umpire says, not out, my ball up.
So umpire now just 20 metres out from the Prince Alfred. Oh, and it's swatted forward. Almost going to bounce through. No, around this way, that way. Oh, couldn't take it cleanly and got caught up there, the Prince Alfred player. Ball bobbles out. Tringove is a bit lively now around the packs. I see him inside the 50. There he is again over the top. So he's trying to liven up the forward line, and big player there just sprinting in was Adam Perryman. So there's going to be another number now. So he's come in. He's just ran in to protect Tringove there. And
Free kick. Yeah, so it's O'Donoghue now, recruit from a couple of years ago. Spent a bit of time at Woodville West Torrens and also on the Crows list. He got a free kick shot on goal from about 40. But boys, the thing that stands out, I don't know for me, but I'm not sure whether you feel the same, but in comparison to last week's game, this is so much more an open game. There really hasn't been a lot of congested football. Even though both sides have got extra numbers down the back end, he has pushed that to the far side. But complete contrast to what we saw last week, boys, in game styles.
Yeah, well, then again, we had 8 goals kicked in the opening quarter last week, and we're at the 17.5-minute mark, Tony. We've just had the one. Both sides finding it hard to get it straight between the posts. Maybe they should watch our show.
And have a look at the press put on here. Just about every player's in the front half of the Prince Alfred end of the ground. That's a long kick. Probably a mirror image to the left footer down this end, but a good grab over the top. And that's one of my little pets there is don't just burn the ball when you've got it out that extra bit, but you've just bombed away. So it comes straight back in Prince Alfred, and they'll be happy with that, Sean. Just bobbling over the boundary line, another chance to set up.
Yeah, well, a good turnover by Jake Pitt there, almost on the wing. So you talk about, you can't always, if you're going to kick the ball 50 metres, hit a target, but you've got to be. If I was Adelaide Junior, I'd be very wary of the Pitt boys in the air, particularly if they don't have a direct opponent. Their ability to compete is very good.
Ooh,
that's
nice.
A great kick around the corner. It's hit the top of the square. That was, not sure, number 29, who I don't have a name for, but unlucky. And this resulted in another point to Prince Alfred, pushes them on to 3 points. Now trailing Uni by 6 points.
1 goal the difference. We had the first 5 minutes down the Adelaide Uni end. They set up a wall around half back. Now Princes have done the same. It's been a quarter of 2/8 thus far.
I'll tell you who's free here is Langridge out here. If they can get it to him, he's still here. He's very tight on the boundary, so they've gone over the top of him. So 2 on 1. Now it comes towards him. It's going to bobble up. One handball, second handball. No, they play good straight running there, Sean, as he came out there.
Was that
very good?
Was that Painter, was it?
I tell you what, he gave one to someone in the comic cuts then. It was to Tringave as he ran past. Just a short one. And, geez, I'll tell you what, they are competing very well, Adelaide Uni.
Yeah, that was
Very
Ben
well.
Adams. Ben Adams off the half-back flank, who's...
They're into Tringave again, look.
Yeah, it looks like he's can go a little bit of spirit in his game, Ben Adams. Anyway, ball in on the wing. Adelaide Uni again set up on the check. Nice, clean take, but not able to get the ball out. And we're starting. Big Frankie Manicus, who kicked 5 goals in a Division 1 or 2 game here. 2, I think it was. Many years ago in his short playing career in an A-grade game for Flinders Park.
Well, it's a good idea, I think, for the umpires to have that little bit of playing experience and put themselves in that position as probably, I don't know whether he's been our best player in the quarter, but he's certainly been one of the busiest in Nick Langridge. Has a free off the half-back line. Kicks it towards half-forward. In the end, though, a very simple mark taken to the... I think he played for both Norwood and North, Will Darwood.
Correct.
And now he's going to go across field, and Tony's got himself a man in lots of space in Tom Brinsley, the sesqui-centurion.
Have a look at it now on the wing, and that's that 2 or 3 kicks you see Port do around the outside. Look at the space now. All the midfielders are trying to stream down that way, or just to bang on the boot inside out screwy there, but it's been effective. It's hit a target. Oh, and he's wrapped up well there. That's well done by, who was it? Ollie Clark, yeah. Well done out there. That was a good competition. They were out then, Uni. So we're starting to see now players walking across. There's a free kick here to Princes, and they're away.
Yep, and that's beautifully kicked into centre half forward. He gets it on quickly to the top of the square.
Ooh.
Nick Langridge falls back into the hole and does it beautifully. Nice play from the PAC player. Ends up with Craig Pitt. He hits it long, keeps it flat. Turned over. PAC still got control of the ball. Looks like we'll have a ball up here, boys. What I'm really liking, guys, is the battle between Aidan Oath and the PAC wingman.
I did check it was Aidan Offey.
Aidan Offey, sorry.
I checked with Team Matt. This time we're going to get the E's on the end done right.
Ollie Clark. Aidan Offey and Ollie Clark. Someone see if they're actually matched up on each other. They're both named to play on the wing and been very effective.
Tom Humphrey shoots. And he scored with a soccer kick, gets the behind.
Well, Ollie Clark was on the wing on the far side there. Now that they're going to kick in, he's running to this side. So he's actually ran from the far side wing to this wing.
So he's covering a lot of territory. 22-minute mark. It's a 1-goal contest. Can't think there's going to be a huge amount of time on it. It would be a feather in the cap of Adelaide Uni if they could hold Prince's goalless. As the kick comes out and Jack Keynes. Can he do something economic with this? He does. Finds a teammate in Ollie Carnes. And he's quite happy to assess his options. Heads for that boundary line. Did he overcook it? No, Darwood got a hand to it. No, out on the full. It's going to be Prince's ball.
So Darwood just waiting for that. He's just looking a little bit fatigued there. He's talking to the umpire, one of the two. So he's just looking directly inside. He's not even looking down the line. He was always going to go towards the middle of the ground. He's put that ball high in the air for a long time, but good grab there, and that's Perryman. So the left footer. So they've gone straight across the ground pretty much. This way, that way, Jolly. Yep. On the left, just dropped short, that little bit there, which is going to give Uni a chance. There's 3 or 4 Princes out here, though, if they can get hold of it. But bit of a contest, a little bit fumbly, ball on the ground. I've really liked the ruckman this quarter, Sean.
You have, yeah, I know. You've said that a few times. Really didn't like the effort of Aidan Offey to intercept that ball that was cut from Darwood to Perryman in the middle. I just thought he could have been a stronger contest there, boys. His game's been pretty good, but you sometimes got to defend as well. Can't be just about going one way. And I thought that probably could have been a stronger effort to hold him up on the mark. Boundary throw in, just on 50 for PAC. Your boy again in the ruck for Adelaide Uni, doing a marvellous job. Number 12, Charlie Parsons. Competes well when the ball's on the ground. He's got his hands on that one, I think. It's out the back again. Ben Adams, like the look of him. This boy will give you a contest. He does 1 on 3. PAC probably 5 on 1 in the end. Tough ask for number 21, whose name I don't have either.
Spanowski's kick is marked. So Adelaide Uni defence thus far, well, they deserve a team beanie at the moment. They're doing the job. Here's a jumper I don't think I've ever caught an Aussie rules game. That was 82 in Tully Kennett. Left it behind. Can Adelaide Uni hold on? They've got the ball. They've got it with Hamish Wallace. Oh, the 1-2, maybe not the greatest option when you're 30 metres out from goal. Now the hand pass to Langridge. He goes to some space on the boundary line. They're going to clear and clear well. Tony to Nick Cottrell. The Uni defence, rock solid.
Sticky fingers. They ran it out well. First take every time, and look what happens with the skills and sticky fingers. Now they're controlling the tempo. Just goes inside, lucky to get 15, and that's Ben Adams. Like him now, they're just going to hold on to the ball here, go backwards and around and around.
Oh, he's
so
going to score.
More right back to the goal square. I haven't minded that lad in the back pocket. Now they're the kicks that have to hit if you're going to do this. There's two in a row that haven't hit. They're going to get away with it. Really, Princess should be working a little bit harder to get across the ground, and there's a player running free there, and Simon Charlie it is. So they've kept possession there, Sean, right across. This is the dangerous kick. Across the ground, has to hit, and it does. Like this play, this quarter two.
Yep, Langridge over to Adams, who's had a terrific quarter as well. He goes back, waits for the numbers to come across, can't find a 45 kick, so ends up going long down the line. That'll suit Will Doward. It does. He punches the ball. Ball stays alive, however. Good effort by Painter to keep it alive. Unfortunately, PAC have the numbers, but now the Uni boys come. We might get some pressure here, and they do, and in the end, enough pressure to produce a free kick for out in the full.
So that was Tommy Wicks who kicked it out. It's going to be Ben Adams, too far out to score. Been a long time since Uni have had a forward 50. Can they do something with it? It's going to lob 30 metres out.
That.
I reckon it's going to be a 2-second grab. It's going to be paid.
Painter.
And that's Seb Painter, and he's got a chance. All of those forward 50s that Princess had, and they got 4 behinds, here's a chance to counter with a goal with quarter time imminent. In fact, the time clock has expired on the scoreboard. It's just given up.
The timekeeper's given it away.
26-minute mark, so you can't think he's got too much to go. So you can see it right here. Thanks to Sports Interactive Filming Footy. We're right behind it. He comes in. Got to aim right, swing left. He aimed right and did not move. It's another behind. It has been a behind fest. Adelaide Uni 1-4-10. Princes 4 behinds. The Blacks by a goal, Tony, at quarter time.
Yes, and look, he actually ran out that way, and that's where the ball's going to go 9 times out of 10 when you run out that way. But, wow, what a great start by them. 1 goal, 4 to 4 points. Well, I won't say great start. They're 1 goal up, I guess, but really probably had 60 to 70% of the play, I'd suggest.
Goal scorers, Tony? The goal scorer?
Tony's shot down at quarter time. The goal scorer is Ben Edwards, is it? No. Who is Nick Cottrell?
Nick Cottrell.
Nick Langridge kicked the only goal of the game at this stage in what has been a really busy quarter. The only thing I'd say at this stage is that you've got to take your chances when you're going to play against a side like PAC, who has the most talent out on the park this year in Division 1. You've got to take your chances, and Uni had plenty of them in the first 15 minutes and didn't necessarily take them. As we just mentioned, they've only kicked the 1 goal. And but what I do like their defensive game plan. That way they've been able to bottle out of the PAC forward line up, and they've been able to turn the ball over quite easily in their back half. And if they can just finish a little bit better going inside the forward 50, they could open this game right up.
Yeah, and opening up has been the front coming from the south. It looks like it's going to open up and take out both sides of Adelaide Oval, Adelaide University Oval. We might actually be rain-free in the second quarter. Time for us to take a break. We'll get some stats from Lockie thanks to Dartfish. Hope you're enjoying our coverage thanks to Sports Interactive and Filming Footy. This is the OTR Division 1. We'll be back after the break. And welcome back, everyone. The sights and sounds of the Adelaide University Oval. It's a Park 12, I believe we're at. Of course, Princes, they play at Park 9, not too far away. Quarter time in our match of the day, the OTR Division 1. And, well, a surprise quarter time result. Adelaide Uni 1-4-10. Princes held goalless, just the 4 behinds. Any key stats before we get underway, Sean?
Yeah, inside 50 is pretty similar. PAC 10, Uni 9. The matchup head-to-head, Painter touches 8 versus Trengove 6. And Best players, I thought, that quarter: Adams, Langridge, Oaf and Parsons for Uni, and Clark, Perryman and Tromans for PAC, and we're underway.
We are indeed. Let's see. It's going to be Uni and the Blacks heading towards the northern end this time, and the kick inside 50 is picked up by Cam Pritchard. We have had Tony down at the huddles. At the next break and play, we'll get his thoughts from down there as PAC looking to move it down the zoo wing, and that's marked by Bryce Willard. He brings it back in board, and Ollie Clark, who was busy in that first quarter. So I think we've seen more east-west action than north-south.
If we put some goals on the east-west
On
boundaries,
the wings would be
we'd
right,
have a higher
wouldn't we?
score.
Meanwhile, the kick, though, has found Hamish Wallace, who's been a rock in defence, and a chance to recover from for Adelaide Uni. Tony, what'd you find in the huddles?
Well, it was very interesting. The first huddle was Prince Alfred. They just got all called in by Craig Pitt straight at the start, and very animated with his talking there. So I didn't get to hear what he had to say, and I went over to Ben Watkins, and I'll tell you what, they are really up and about. He's super happy. He spoke about the pressure, the ball coming in, the movement. They're on. Bite in from the midfield. That's a new one, Sean. Bite in. And the run, he said the one thing Prince Alfred he thought they were going to be worried about was the run, and that's what's happening. All taken high there. The other bit was he was saying that Uni were having like this situation. They'll get the ball in 2 or 3 kicks, and then they'll find that the blokes are on across the ground in a line of 5 or 6 when they don't need to be.
Right, and they have gone back and forward, as we alluded to earlier on. There's been a lot of east-west play. They're now coming into the more dangerous corridor. It's effective, though. And Hamish Wallace has got the ball, handballs, lays it off to Jack Keynes. Just doesn't quite finish with the ball. We spoke about that last week. But this bloke, Will Jolly, watch him hurt you with his foot. He banged 27, and he hits Tommy Bartlett. Experienced player in the forward pocket, and that's the difference. If you can't finish with the kick, boys, it's all over.
Once you knew Hayden Jolly had some space outside 50, he was going to deliver something special. It's going to be Tommy Bartlett to have a shot, Jacko, and do you back him?
Oh, absolutely. He's played most of his footy as a defender, actually, and he is a good defender, but probably about 45 out. Reasonably difficult angle, but he is a beautiful kick of the footy, and this will be no exception. It does a shite kick. Doesn't make the distance, doesn't quite hit that fat. One interesting stat about Tommy, last couple of years, he's been playing pennant golf and getting the games late, straight off the golf course, no warm-up, and that was part of the reason I think he moved forward from defence. Phil?
So we've got a throw in here. Can Princess get their first goal? Jolly is dangerous given space, but he wasn't. The turnover to Keynes. He's got Offie now in the back pocket. You can see all the Princess fans that have gathered there. They get 2 games for the price of 1 out there. Well, there's nothing on the Fred Block Oval at the moment. Uni clearing it off the half-back flank, looking for Ollie Khan. Steps in front, couldn't take it though. Here's a chance for McNamara, and the Reds, now they're going to run in some waves. They're going to swing it across east to west, and Tony, they found Mitch Larson.
Yeah, look at his penetrating left footer right into that hot spot. Oh, and that's a crunching contest there. But player got back up, rebounded well, ball just bobbling around there. Little kick forward. Oh, he's out on his own here, and I reckon this is Oliver Clark. Can he get around? Have a shot, son. No, he handballs it in, unselfish. But look at the players there for Uni. They're going to either tackle or mop up here, or spun 360. Players let it go, umpires let it go. Players in a line there. There's our ruckman. Now, that's just a bombing kick, and this is where Port Princess can capitalise. Right on 50, left foot in, off hands, out it comes again. The ruckman, he's playing that kick behind there, Parsons, as well.
Yep, plenty of numbers, as has been the case all game so far with Uni in the back 50. Nick ends up with Nick Langridge, kicks it long, high, wide, and ugly.
Push.
Dowd in best position, but unfortunately has given away a free kick. No, one of his teammates has won the free kick, so Uni unable to penetrate through the centre. Switcher play again from PAC, and we're seeing this a lot, boys. This little chip sideways. That's a better kick. Up the corridor, has found a loose player. I think that is Trengove, and he's about to get nailed. Gets his kick underway. Hits the top of the 50. And Phil, looks like we'll have a ball up there.
So quite often we see a low-scoring game played between the 50s.
Yes.
We're seeing a game here played in the 50s.
Yes.
When either side is able to get the transition coast to coast. So Right now it's Prince's turn inside their 50. It spills to Langridge. He'll get another touch. He's probably the front runner for mine for the Dartfish player of the game is Darwood. He'll bring it back in board. Nice mark to Woolard, the former Tiger from the Bays of Glenelg. Assess his options. Goes with the long kick. Will he fly at the back? Oh, it's the man in front. Princes could have raffled that one. It's with Lockie Charlton.
Ex-Norwood player Lockie Charlton. Tony, you know a bit about him?
No, I don't actually, Sean.
Do your homework.
So he's got the 25 for Norwood at the moment. It's Cam Shenton, who, last year it was, who has the big mullet of hair. And Charlton not too far off there. Can this be Prince's first goal? They are 0 goals for. The kick 45 metres out to the Torrens end. Makes the goal umpire move. But they salute. And the red men are on the board with the first goal today, and we've got ourselves a tied ball game. Prince Alfred Old Collegians 1 goal for, Adelaide Uni 1 goal for, and you're with Tony Neal.
And I tell you what, Sean, I've picked up something there. He can mark well and he can kick well, and he's a right footer. Come on, mate.
Woolard.
Lachlan Charlton. So, ball going back into the middle. That got back there quickly. So players just walking back. I tell you who's been not too bad as Will Delwood back there. He's either punching, marking, kicking forward. So in the ruck here. So just a quick one. The Thomas Spanofkis 3 years ago was in the C grade, came out of soccer, and he's now playing A grade football and doing very well. As you can see him running down the ground. Players just slipping a little bit in there. Oh, over the top there. Umpire let that go. So a little bit of a pack forming there. And bit of courage shown.
Unlucky not to get a free kick there, Ben Adams. He certainly throws himself with the ball. Both sides looking to hit the ball forward, although he's in saying that, he's just hooked the ball back beautifully. Thomas Spanofskis.
Just watch the umpire throw this one. That last one, it actually went up and down in an arc. It didn't go up and down on the spot. There it goes. If you're a ruckman, you'd be picking that up. He's just throwing that about 3 metres away from himself there. Oh, good courage shown there, and out it comes now.
It's a good point, Tony. Given that we're not bouncing the ball around the ground where the umpires are throwing the ball up, should it be thrown up with a screw punt spiral or a drop punt spiral? I'll let the listeners and the viewers think about that one, Phil.
Yeah, 24. Do we have 25s in the Adelaide Footy League? Yeah, we do. I assume by this measurement. Yeah, 25, and this is a Connor Newman suddenly in scoring position, Jacko.
Yes. Who was it? Connor Newman with the ball?
Noonan.
Connor Noonan. Yes, correct. Come from West Adelaide, I believe. Had been at uni before. Looks nice and balanced over the ball. I'm not going to give any more players a rap as they line up.
Come on, mate.
Connor, you're better than that, son.
Is that the best you can give
Big
us?
Brenny Watkins, who pulled him back out of West Adelaide. He come back and assist uni, and he finishes like that. That's 2 laps on the training track before you get on Tuesday night, Connor.
This will be fascinating. We've seen the ball trapped inside the 50s at different ends of the ground through most of this contest. Can Princes find a way to break it? I'm not sure if that's the less risky option, but they found Hayden Jolly. Usually does something useful when he's got the football. Let's see what he can achieve here. Yes, he can. He's got the man further upfield. Now they're on. They're coming through the middle. The red men have gone from 50 to 50, and they've got the mark at the other end. That's their best passage of play today.
Lockie Charlton
by the
again.
country mile. Lockie Charlton has it, and he'll have another shot. And that's how you do it, Jacko.
You do, but Tony, what do you think?
I know
he's your boy, Lockie Charlton.
Studying him there, Sean, but he's gone a long way back and going on the last kick. Well, I might have a better chance at backing a player here with the kick. So let's just see what he does. He's very deliberate, isn't he? And, geez, have a look at Jolly in there, just having a bit of a chit-chat there on the way back. So he's just popped that straight over the goal umpire's head, and he's kicked 2 in a row there. Lachlan Charlton has just started to bring himself into the game, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, what he did, he outmanoeuvred the uni defender in number 2, Alex Moore, who's just come into the side this week, and caught him flat-footed and was just able to launch off the one leg, guys, and he just couldn't compete height-wise.
And do you think that that's the matchup? He's actually taller more when you look at him like this, but do you think that's the matchup? Because Sea Princes have all come up right up to the 50 and left that one out there. So if he's got good hands like that, maybe that's going to be the thing they're trying to isolate. Yep,
well, let's try and keep it at 45. As we say, the Benny Watkins, you've got a challenge there. You've got the lads hot, kick 2 goals. Will he stay with the same defender or will he make a move? That'll be a test of patience. Free kick to PAC, should have been, got it, play advantage. Beautiful movement out of the centre. Goes to that player again. Much better effort there by the uni defence. able to switch the ball out to the far side, and that's ended up with Harry Wellington, I believe, but not able to keep a big crowd over that far side of the ground, though.
As the football goes through. And just the Prince's women there about to get ready for their clash.
Looking forward to seeing that game too.
Would they be the princesses then?
Actually, it's not Prince's women. What am I talking about?
The black and yellow.
Angle Vale.
The umpire having a bit
The
of
Owls.
difficulty moving them back.
Right. Draw the eyes back about 30 metres. There's a game on here, Division 1 game. So let's just keep our eye on the ball, so to speak, as it comes in. So over the top, here's Jolly. You're taken high, just bounces off, so to speak. Another this way, that way. They're going backwards to go forward, and there's a little bit of a stumble there.
But they're starting
Got
to
away with
recover from their errors at the moment.
O'Donoghue.
Ben O'Donoghue ends up with the ball, and he kicks that beautifully into Jake Pitt, who, guys, this is his second mark, I think, for the game, but he's struggled to be a real strong focal forward presence at the moment, and that's probably due to the numbers. But Jolly certainly stepped his game up the first 5 minutes of this quarter, or 10 minutes in, and he's had finished with the ball nicely now with Pitt having a shot about 45 out.
Comes in now from 49 for 3 unanswered goals. Yes, he does. Princes are starting to convert their opportunities, and they're starting to break open this football game. They go to 3-4-22. Adelaide Uni 1-4-10. Jolly comes off for a rest. Trengrove goes on, and of course all the interchanges thanks to Interchanger, one of our great sponsors, part of our coverage this year. Thanks to Sports Interactive, collaborating with Filming Footy, and they are filming this weekend across the country. And remember, there's no footy in Victoria. I think 90 different footy games. That's amazing. A lot of cameras.
So ball in the middle now, and you know what? Things are dried up. We're almost 12 minutes in. Adelaide Uni haven't scored this quarter. Up it goes. High lift there by Prince Alfred. Round the corner, just a bomb forward. This is that area about 60 metres out, but they're going to mop up here. And smart play there. One player went to the ball and the other one just hung off, whereas both Adelaide Uni players went to the ball. Just good, smart football there, Sean.
Yes, Tommy Fisher now with the ball, transfers it over the far side. Much better skill rate coming from the PAC boys this quarter. Aren't they hitting the target much more often? Ends up with Bryce Woolard, who's had a lot of it this quarter. Will Dowwood charging through the centre. Goes long, looking for the young fella. Didn't quite hang on to it, Ollie Clark, but he'll have liked his game so far. That's Trengove going to the man of the moment. Uni, too high, I would have thought there. And no, what's he paid there, boys?
Dropping the ball.
Yeah, he kicked disposal. Let's have a look.
Looked to be a little high for me, boys. Not sure about you, but anyway, the umpire's given his decision, and it's ended up with Charlton for goal number 3. Won't miss this one. 3 goals is a good return in a quarter. Big recruit from Norwood this year, and he's certainly had a big impact on the game this quarter.
Well, it's pretty much as you expected it to be. That this is the Princes that we expected to run right. Took them a quarter to get adapted to the conditions here, just starting to drop a couple of degrees for mine. We might get Tony on the Elders weather app in a second. Check the current temperature.
Change has been made, boys. Carson Clark has now gone back onto Charlton after kicking 3, and Alex Moore has moved out to the half-back line.
So all of a sudden it's an 18-point margin. Adelaide Uni are sort of saying, well, didn't we have the better of this for quite some time? Jolly in the middle. It's got it. It's got the hand pass out, and it's Princes again. Now they're winning the clearances. This is with Perryman. He's got a runner in Clark who runs hard to the zoo wing. Got to ask Tony Neal in a sec, do they need a fence out there? As it goes now, but language has stopped. And Tony, do they need a fence out there to separate the ovals? I know you like your fences.
Ovals. No, not here. It's a beautiful picturesque oval, isn't it, down here? But like you said, they're warming up over there out the other side. But away he goes now. Comes inside. I like that. That's attacking football from Adelaide Union. That's a long kick. That's about 60 metres. But to no one. Ball bobbling around out there. Can they keep it in, Princes? They can. They've got confidence on the left foot. Just a swinging kick, and that's a nice high mark. They said that this lad can do this, Oliver Clark. He'll just pop out of nowhere, and he's got involved. But, wow, that's got to hit that kick. And, just a little bit of a poor effort there by Simon Charlie. Probably didn't quite read it properly. I'll give him that. But bounce around. Prince Alfred are on here. Out it comes now, Sean.
Yeah, it's going to end up with Mitch Sholikans. Oh, no, it's not. It's Edward Sims. Ball bobbling this way, that way. It's a free kick by the umpire. Frankie Manicus
Wellington
has given that to Wellington on the half-back line. Really need to find someone. We go backwards again here with the loose players set up. Really need to get some penetrating movement through the middle of the ground. Connor Noonan has now got the footy. We're back where we started, boys. 3 possessions later. This time goes long down the line. Could almost have got a free kick there, the uni player. Langridge runs onto it. I reckon he'll end up with it here, boys. He does. Can he get a kick? Oh. Can he win a free kick? Oh, he's played holding the ball, big Frankie. Wow, that's a tough decision.
And Langridge is not particularly impressed, and he's giving away 25 in the process.
One thing about Frankie, he won't change his mind. I can guarantee you that, boys.
So it's Mohawk man Cam Pritchard. And they're moving it well. The transition off halfback is a big improvement to Craig Pitt, to Perryman. But it lands in front of Offa, who's got a Hardwick, has got 3 Princes in pursuit, but he's got the legs to run off them. Takes 1, takes 2, takes 3, shoots around the 4, runs to 50, and usually the kick, and he's gone too far. Oh, no theatre. No theatre from the umpire.
He was
Prince's ball.
He was offy, all right.
Tony, take it away. I'm out of breath.
Gee, so jolly it is. I don't reckon he was chasing too far, Sean, on this one.
Jolly.
Poor old Jolly. But I tell you what, it's that dangerous kick. I've said it over and over, right into that centre-half-back position. And there's 25 given against the full forward. I don't reckon Ben Edwards has touched it this quarter. He was up and about, got a big wrap-up, and we saw Smothers in the first quarter, and now we're seeing 25. So now Uni rebound. Noonan.
Ben Edwards now has a good jump at it. Doesn't quite get there. Nice bit of defence by the Ryan Tromans. Gets it, ends up with it, and puts it on his boot quickly. I'd like to see a little bit more defensive chase from Ben Edwards on a couple of occasions. I think he's waited for the ball like that when it came over the back, where he could have maybe put a bit of pressure on. But
and good pressure there from Tom Brinsley, the 150 gamer, to not allow Edwards an easy shot on goal.
So Perryman, just having a look around, he's got Delwood out on his own. He's gone over the top of him, kicked it really to grass, Flinders Uni style. Back it comes Delwood. He's tried to dive there to put a shepherd in. It's going to come back to Delwood. Almost, he ran a long way to get that. Now, we've only seen one kick. Here's the second kick. Player taken down after the kick, after disposal, and they're going to be just outside of 50 here, Sean.
Well, I'd hate to see the free kick count this quarter, boys, but Uni boys are just giving away a few too many free kicks for mine. Donahue ends up with it, running straight in an open goal. Bang! He can't miss from there, and he doesn't. And that puts Uni on to 1 goal 5 still, but Prince Alfred on to 5 goals 4, and I reckon that's 5 in a row this quarter, Phil.
Indeed it is. And all of a sudden, it's become a 23-point footy game, as we've got a little bit of cloud cover. But yeah, good movement. They're running hard. They're creating space. The skill level at times hasn't been great. We're still seeing the fumbling, but just the work. I think the work rate is what's picked up from the Prince's boys, and that creates, I think, some issues for the second half, given the way they played last week. Again, another tap to Uni, but on this occasion, Painter is relieved of the football by the Red Men, who will go forward, back with the flight of the ball, but a push in there somewhere. And Larson is not happy because he took a courageous mark, but he's got to give the ball over, and it will be the Blacks with it and some work to do, Tony.
Yeah, Jack Strange, we haven't really called a lot of him. One of our players to watch. Nice on that left foot penetrating kick, and sticky fingers there by Wellington. So they've come back inside. Good to see both teams at least taking risks with that, not being predictable down the line. That's a good pack grab. No, play on it is, and just bobbling out there. Yep, he's away again. So is that Jolly? Right foot, left foot, doesn't worry him. Drops it short. Reckon it must have hit the ground. Running through now, Prince. They're linking up well. Is that on his left too, Sean? And he's he has kicked that. Trengove on his left, and I'll tell you what, they're having a very good quarter now, Prince. It's like they've just opened up and accelerated.
Yeah, well, I'll give you some interesting stats, boys. That's Trengo's 8th touch and first goal for the quarter versus Seb Painter, yet to touch the footy this quarter. Inside 50s, 7-1 PAC's way. 9-3, and free kicks 6 to Prince Alfred, 1 to Uni. Some really telling stats there.
Yep. It is one-way traffic right now. 6 unanswered goals. We're at almost into time on, and Uni need this. Well, need a goal just to steady, as you're with Sean Jackson.
Yeah, both sides running with one back. Uni, in general play, looked like they were running with two back early or in most of the first quarter, but now just back with one. And, mate, I think they need to shut down the hatches for the next couple of minutes, just hold PAC up. Scoring would be a bonus, but what they really need to do is be able to effectively hold PAC, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case because Perryman's got the ball on the left foot going from the centre of the ground.
Just while that's happening too, the big ruckman for Prince's, Spanofskas, is still slightly injured in the middle of the ground. He's just walking around now, so I reckon if there's a ruck contest shortly, he might not be able to get to it. Now he's running down forward, so Jolly it is. Geez, he sets up well, doesn't he? Just so calm, Jolly.
How much of the footy has he had this quarter?
Yeah, pops it in. They're attacking forward here. It doesn't matter with Prince's. I'll work away out. No, I haven't minded the umpire. It's pretty quick on the blower, but it was there. So they're going to look sideways again. Players are setting up. So they're setting up here, but not down the ground. So he's going to have to go down that wing side and up in the air. It is there. Spanofskas there. Down the opposition ruckman there. So bobbles out. I tell you what. He's had a great game, Delwood, as well.
Well, he has, and it's almost to the stage, guys, where I'd almost think about playing someone on Delwood because him and Jolly are setting the ball up. Wicks it is now, and that's the Tom variety in the middle of the ground. They'll run the ball on. Oh, he decides to go, know your capability, son. Goes long, high, wide, handsome. Too high. Free kick to his brother.
Mitch
Wicks in the Tom and Mitch red wine.
And did you see, Delwood must be listening to our call, but he ran into centre forward then. He's playing off the back line. He's run into centre forward, but they went over the top of him.
Well, I reckon what's happening, boys, I reckon Delwood's setting up as the loose player with PAC, so he doesn't have a direct opponent. But Trengove, guys, not a massive first quarter, but his second quarter, he's had 11 touches.
I wonder if he changed his boots.
Do you reckon Jolly's had more?
He's had more effective, maybe.
Yeah. I reckon he would have had 10, no worries, Jolly as well. But who's this? This is Wicks. 35, straight in front. You reckon he'll kick this? Looks good over the footy. Looks good as he kicks the ball. And bang, that's another one, boys. And that is Mitch Wicks's first and PAC's 8th, 7th.
Big quarter.
Big quarter indeed. 7 goals so far.
A reminder coming up at half-time, thanks to Business Plaza. We'll have all the stats from Lockie, thanks to Dartfish. We'll talk about our Dartfish player of the game with Jacko and Tony. Hopefully we'll give you some scores from the rest of the OTR Division 1. And anybody else who wants to send us a score as welcome. And we'll even check the comments, which is mainly Peter M, who is enjoying the Red Avalanche thus far. Here we go, back in the middle. Again, another Uni thing. They've struggled, though, to get the clearance. On this occasion, they will through Ollie Carnes. Can they get a late one? Take something into the half-time break. Right now, it's a fumbling footy 30 metres out straight in front. And at the bottom of that is Tommy Sumner. Working hard was Carson Clark, I think. No, it was Jack Keynes. A little bit of a stray. Umpire gets in there pretty quickly, throws it straight up. It spills to Painter. Painter, Ollie Carnes, can he get the snap from 50 out? It's about 30 metres out. Now it's Hamish Wallace. It's just Uni have got it. They can't get the free shot. And let's have a look, and it's a free kick. Will go the way of Prince's. Adam Perryman will relieve the pressure.
It actually looks like they're in a different gear. They're just so relaxed out there, the level head's Jolly. Now he's pointing back out this side. He's telling the players out this side to run. They've got a ring set up out here if you get a long shot. They're going to go short there. Don't be surprised if this comes in. I think you're right, Sean. Look at Delwood. He's just doing his own thing, just jogging along. They have decided to come out here. Jolly's got it back. They've got 3 players out this side. If he can get the kick over the top here.
No one manning up on Delwood, boys. Look
there
it
is.
Ends up on Delwood again. I mean, it's obvious as
they're in their own gear.
Jolly, Delwood, Trengove don't have opponents.
Yep.
Do not have opponents at this stage.
And, of course, some serious damage in a 7-goal quarter.
That is a nice kick to Jake Pitt. Hasn't set the world on fire, but that's a lovely kick too. And finds Ollie Clark, who's been busy again, looking to play on. Held up nicely on the mark by Wellington. Goes back, looks for the long kick down the line. Only a little fella there to go compete in the air. Competes well. Mitch Larson's puts enough heat on. Oh, and he might end up with a footy here right in front of goal. Does. Handballs, finds Pitt. Set up by Mitch Larson's. Nice passage of play, son. Not a lot of him, but he competed very well in the air, and that is Pitt's second goal.
He dribbled that ball through, didn't he, Jake Pitt? When I say dribbled it through, he just manoeuvred his body in the right area and kicked around the corner. But there really wasn't a lot of pressure there.
No, look, I've got to be honest with you, boys. When PAC have kicked 8 goals for the quarter, they've been able to set up without a lot of pressure from the back half all quarter, haven't they? The amount of times their good players have been able to kick the ball without anyone being within QE would be concerning for Big Benny Bowler Watkins at half-time. He's going to need to readdress that. And speaking of half-time, can't be far away, Phil.
Certainly not. Time clock stopped again. That's usually a good sign. Maybe it can only count up to 25. I think that's its limitations.
Is that what it is?
As you can see, the Dartfish, the Sports Interactive time clock telling us we've just ticked over 25. Another ruck tap. I'd be shocked if
Jolly
Princes
again.
have had any ruck tap, but now Princes have worked out a way to get the clearances. That's a hospital kick swirling around in the breeze, 45 metres out. It's going to luckily land in the hands of Strange for Princes. He's looking for Offie on the wing. He'll get the free kick. Now they've created a loose man because Jolly's got to work his way over. And a strong kick.
Mark.
Good mark. Nick Cottrell. Too far out to score. 80 metres out. Half-time imminent. Goes with a kick
Benny
inside.
Edwards.
50. There's Edwards.
Strong.
Nice passage of play, boys.
Vice-like hands.
It's the first time I can remember a transition from the back 50 to the forward 50 ending up with a mark.
He's come inside here, Seb Painter, is it? With
Yes.
A grab. Probably no closer, a little bit different angle, but probably no closer. What's the umpire doing here? He's
Not
going to
played the mark, boys.
ball that up. And there's the siren. So, wow, an 8-goal quarter by Prince Alfred Old Collegians. I'm not sure I'd like to be in the rooms at half-time.
Yeah.
For Adelaide Uni.
Well, this is when you earn your bucks as a coach. You've got to make a decision. What's he going to do with his players? Is he going to give them a tongue lashing, or is he going to plead with them? That's the decision he's going to have to make, and only Big Benny Watkins knows what he's going to do. But he would be, and they should be, very, very disappointed with that quarter of footy, boys. 8 goals.
8 goals straight.
8 goals
I
straight.
was just going to mention that. It was 8 goals to 1. It was 8 scoring shots to 1. The 1 for Uni was a behind. The 8 for PAC, all through the big sticks. And just giving you the goal scorers before we take a break for half-time, it is Lockie Charlton with 3 in the space of, 4 minutes, which really turned the game at that time.
Yep.
2 to Jack Pitt, singles to Mitch Wicks, Jack Trengove and Ben O'Donoghue. For Adelaide Uni, Nick Langridge. Any quick thoughts before half-time break, Tony?
Well, Will Delwood, I've sort of said it was a game of 2 quarters. I know that sounds ironic, but Adelaide Uni,
Tony. Yes,
Adelaide Uni had a lot of the play in the first quarter, couldn't capitalise. 1 goal, 4 goals, 1 would have looked better.
Yep.
Now we see Prince Alfred just put the foot to the accelerator, and now we start looking at the better players for the game. We start looking at the second quarter, I'd suggest.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make a big statement. I'm going to tell you that Jolly played the best quarter of football I've ever seen a big man play. When I say big man, like, he looks extremely overweight, and it did not affect the way he played at all.
Winter conditioning, it's called.
Yes,
Sean.
he set the play up along with Doward, and Trengove got a bit of it as well, but it was Jolly and Doward for me who were the architects, and boy, is he dynamite with every time he gets hold of the footy. Fantastic quarter of
Relaxed, isn't he? Relaxed.
Yep.
Well, on that basis, Hayden Jolly may be my cult hero. As we take a break. It is Prince Alfred Old Collegians, 8 goals, 4. That's 52. Adelaide Uni, 1 goal, 5-11. Thanks to Sports Interactive and Filming Footy. This is the OTR match of the day. We'll be back after a break.
What's that?
And welcome back, everyone. It's half-time in the OCR Division 1, and have a look at some of these scores going around the traps at the moment. Yeah, at the Taj Mahal Campbelltown Oval, it is Ross Trevor Old Collegians going for a 2-0 start. They lead only Mercedes by 21 points. Bryson and Panamnor, that's at Edwardstown Oval. It is Brighton, but only by 8 points. Goody Saints and St. Peter's by 16 points. They're the close ones. Then you've got us, and then you've got Port District Athelston, where at half-time, Port District are 15-5-95, Athelston 4-3-27. That is a 69-point lead off the top of my head. That's the scores. Let's look at some of the stats. Jacko and Tony, talk us through that first half. I think Tony summed it up best, a half with 2 quarters.
A half of 2 quarters, indeed it was. And almost bruise-free football. That'd be the most disappointing thing from a uni perspective. The amount of space and free time their gun players were allowed to have and control the ball. And I speak, of course, of Jolly, Trengove and Doward. Trengove 13 touches for the quarter versus Painter 2. So Will Painter will need to step up his game. Defensively, the uni boys just weren't at it, were they, boys? That was the thing. Have a look at the hit-outs.
Yeah.
Not a lot in it, really. Turnovers, inside 50s. What have we got? That's 12 to Prince Alfred that quarter to 5 uni, so comprehensively won there. Turnovers, 9 to 7. Centre clearances, not a lot in it, but clearances around the ground, 8 to 2. And free kicks, we talked about during the quarter, 9 to 4. But clearly the lack of pressure by the uni boys on the PAC players was the problem.
Interesting with stats, you'll see there the turnovers, Prince Alfred 9, Adelaide had 7. So Princes have got the higher amount. But sometimes that's because you've got more of the ball.
Yes,
so
indeed.
it's going to happen. So the same with the tackles. So anyway, we're coming back to the centre bounce here, and let's just see whether Adelaide Uni can ignite and get something going in the second half. And so players manning up at the moment.
Yes,
all around the ground.
We hope that continues. We've got 6-on-6 from both ends of the ground.
And the ruckman in the middle for Uni is winning the taps, but Prince Alfred are capitalising. So let's see if they come out on fire or Adelaide Uni can answer. So this next ball up could be crucial to a good start here. So look at the ruckman. Geez, he's up and about too. Look at him. He's crashing in there. Uni just shepherding the ball. Well done there. And palms it out towards umpire. Got in the way there, the Uni player, but around on the left foot now. So Princes go forward through Ollie Clark. He's had a good game. Haven't minded him at times.
He has
outside.
Changed a couple of positional changes, boys. Ben Edwards has come up the centre half forward, which means Will Dowd is now going to have an opponent, and he's picking up Ben Edwards. So it'll be interesting to see how that duel works out. Speaking of Will Dowd, he's got the first win on that degree. The ball's going to be balled up by Frankie Manicus. As I said, 5 goals in an A-grade game for Flinders Park when he was a Jet. Throws the ball up. Pitt knocks it beautifully to Trengove, who gets a free kick for being held from Mitchie Olikans. And Trengove on the wing liked his game, Phil.
Indeed, it was 13 touches or something for that second quarter. That's his usual step. I mean, he was averaging something like 32. He was the leading possession getter in the Sandford last year. And also, you think, he's an outside player, gets a lot of the hand passes, but he was also the Sandford leader in contested possession as well last year. And,
in the old boots back then?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. He certainly stood out.
So what happened there, he was about to kick and Ryan Tromans came in to shepherd on the mark. The umpire reset it up again. So here we see Princes not quite around the outside, just into the middle of the ground. And, geez, Perryman, Sean, it's almost like training. They look so relaxed, Prince Alfred. I know they're not. They're under a little bit of pressure. But see, just like that, break a tackle, he's put the hands to the head. He knew that didn't come off the boot well, but just so relaxed. Lack of pressure on the ball carrier.
I don't want to labour the point, boys, but everybody knows that PAC are a very highly skilled side. And if you allow them, they've been like this for 4 years, if you allow them to set the play up from the back half, they've got beautiful kicks to the ball. They've got Adam Perryman, they've got Jolly, they've got Trengove, they've had Tommy Bartlett back there. You allow those blokes to set the play up without any pressure like Perryman was able to do then, and you get what you're getting. So they need to get one-on-one in the front half, Adelaide Uni, and start putting some genuine pressure on, Phil.
Alrighty, well, Uni have it momentarily, and a good thump from behind there by Princes, but we've got 2 footy games in this camera screen there at the moment. Hopefully they've got different sirens, or it's going to get very confusing later on. Half forward flank for the men in black. Langridge, who was busy early, thinks he's got a free. Umpire says no. It's going the other way.
Perryman.
And Perryman's got it. So again, we're going to see the east-west switch side. We're going to see the kick missed. Uni, there's no one within Cooey. There's no one in your camera screen except the Magpie, and he's not going to lay that tackle. And in the end, it's a beautiful transition. And Tony Princes are away, courtesy of Tom Fisher.
Yeah, Pritchard to Fisher, and just got a little bit close to the man on the mark and tried to be a bit finicky over the top. Didn't quite work. Delwood in hard there, putting the pressure on. Look away handball. Had a player free out here, couldn't hit the target. It's bombling around on the wing and just going out of bounds there. So let's just see if they can set up the ruckman now, who I said started so well. Have a look at Parsons. He's just getting into that contest now. He's pointing to the right, to his right, which is your left of screen. Player behind if he wants him. Can't get it there. Puts it where he pointed. 2-3 handball. We saw a bit of that in the first quarter from him. Nice kick inside 50 now. Oh, taken high there. Umpire's going to pick it too. And
Language is not happy again.
Ryan
Troman switches the play, finds Craig Pitt on the far side. Now this is the area of weakness, boys. They've got to tighten up here, Uni. And they don't. They allow Jolly free access to the ball. How does that keep happening, guys? Jolly, he's not the best runner in the world, but gee, he just keeps finding space. I'm not sure how it happens. Trengove kicks the ball long, send it up with Lockie McNamara. He's gone to the half-forward flank, and once again, boys, it's bruise-free footy. It's travelled from one end to the other without a contest. Have a look at it, and just intercepted there by Ben Adams, which was well done.
So now, Uni have it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what a beautiful juke there by, I think that was Amish Wallace. His kick, though, well, couldn't quite get there. We got that's Wellington. Back to Strange. They got a bit of space. This is Language not giving away a free kick on this occasion. Edwards. Can they get him to Language? Here's some work rate from Language. Got to get past his opponent in Sumner, which he does. He's inside 50. Will he have the shot himself? He does. And misses absolutely everything.
And I tell you what, that handball that came back to him then, Phil, he really had to work the hamstrings to get to that. He put the jukes out and just reached for it.
And then he had nothing left for the kick. Tony.
So free kick now coming back. I tell you what, we've called him a fair bit now, starting to really open up Perryman. Nice kick into Jolly. I tell you what, they're just about waxing, but there's no one near him. He must pong or something. I don't know what it is, but
he must what?
He must smell, mate. Great work, great. Trengove just sprints sideways. Now, just have a look. They're setting up around this side of the ground as well. Trengove hasn't had a look in, so it doesn't need to. Have a look at the space on this guy. That's the next kick in line.
I reckon Language is his opponent. That's the closest guy to him. And
so Jolly's back here if he wants him. Still setting up. They don't need to. They could do a coast-to-coast. Look at the players out this side of the ground. They've still got 2 or 3 players running in a line. Doesn't need to. Shortcut it, go wide to the fat side. That was a great kick too, I reckon. Now Prince Alfred have got... Oh, he's going to play on here, is he? Charlton? No, he'll go back and set this up. He's 35-40 out, lining up for his... what's he after? The fourth goal?
3 in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. He's lined up for his fourth. But, guys, I don't keep harping on it, but this is bruise-free football.
There's space in front of him if you wanted to lead into it as well. Have a look.
I reckon Big Benny would be happy if they Uni get... He's just missed that. I reckon Benny would be happy if Uni boys gave away a few free kicks from Scraggin, or holding on, or grabbing a Guernsey, or doing something. But at the moment, it's run along football.
What was the free kick? The free kick count at half-time struck me as being a little bit on the low side, which is what you see in the bruise-free footy as it comes out to Adams. And I found out the opponent for Jolly, to the best that I can work out, is Langridge. But Langridge is their loose guy, and Jolly is their loose guy. And unfortunately, as much as Langridge was okay in the first quarter, Jolly has been devastating in the second. Uni with the kick, it's gone across the T-saucer. Here's your coach, Craig Pitt, picks it up, and we're going to go round and round again.
Look at Jolly in the middle of the ground, boys. There's no one within Coo.
He's happy to direct. He'll just saunter up into clear space. You can see Angle Vale and the Adelaide Uni Women's Blacks are underway on the Fred Block Oval. 25-metre penalty, and I think they've all been against Uni. There's been about 4 of them. Well, that kick, though, with the penalty overcooked, and Tony Uni again a chance to repel.
Yes, and they went on that 45-degree diagonal that way and came back diagonally this way. Uni just possession football. This might be the key. Just hold on to a little bit of tempo, and I'll tell you what, number 28 there is the full forward, Ben Edwards is on the half-back flank leading for that ball. Player just dropped the chest mark. He's gone back after it. Good on him, but let Prince Alfred go in first to the ball. Umpire's going to play holding the ball here. They hung off that Uni and just waited. So quick handball out, puts a player under pressure.
Edwards' chance here.
Just a bomb. He's done a tower of work because he was on the half-back flank a moment ago.
Yeah, he's done it exceptionally well. He's unlucky not to get a free kick, but a mark's been taken on the full forward line, which Wellington, big Harry Wellington, this will take a fair bit of pressure off. It's been a long time, boys, since Adelaide Uni scored. Halfway through the first quarter, and we're now 8 minutes into the third. Wellington lines up, looks okay off the boot, and goes through on a much relieved goal, and then he goes and remonstrates with number 32, which is Tommy Sumner. Not sure you'd be worried about that sort of stuff when you're 8 goals down.
Yes, I have to say, save that for when you're 8 goals up.
Yep.
8 minute mark of the third quarter, I reckon that's almost a whole half of footy that Adelaide Uni have gone goalless. Can't quite remember when they scored the first, but it was around about that time of the first quarter. So, does that spark something, or is it just a one-off? Let's find out. We're back in the middle. 9 minutes gone. Margin 35 points, and what has turned out to be a beautiful sunlit day. We thought there'd be lots of rain. Haven't seen a drop in this game. Jolly the clearance. Bouncing ball at forward 50. Plenty of black there. Carson Clark gets it across, and this is Connor Noonan, who's in the hospital pocket, the women's and children's hospital pocket. Almost delivers the hospital pass to Hamish Wallace. He goes back in ball. They're trying to get something structured here, the Blacks. This is to Lewis Parker. Goes across field. They're creating an open man. They've got him and they're off. This is strange. Waste no time with the kick to open space. That player lost his footing. Will it sit? Yes, it does. Ollie Khan's on the edge of 50. Nice 360 spin move. And has missed absolutely everything. So occasionally, Uni with some nice movement, but they are spreading him to the left side of those goals. Tony.
And what happened there, he did have to stop and prop, turned around. Yeah. He lost what we call momentum. He might have been better just backing himself in, running straight forward and having a look at him. So Delwood it is. So Princes, there's a big pack on that far side. I reckon he's going to go down there. He's allowed to play on, so gains an extra 10. And look at that kick. That's a raking kick over the top. Up and down went Uni. Ball on the ground now, and I'll tell you what, he's made a fair contest of it there. A couple of players, a little bit more aggression, Sean, but they need to be pretty much on top of it all.
Yeah, good couple of minutes from Uni. Just reverse the trend for a minute, and if they can continue that, that's what they want, guys. Just a few ball ups, a few scrimmages, just put your body over the line and hold the ball in for a minute. And
there is no one on Jolly at all.
Try and hold the scoring. Send it up was a boundary throw in just outside the Uni forward 50. Yeah, right, Phil. Jolly is there. He's working pretty hard, the big fella. And the second ruck for Adelaide Uni, Bateman's going to go up against Jake Pitt.
And I can just tell you, Adelaide Uni are having a shot on goal, but it's in the women's game over the back.
Okay.
Well, they could probably tally both scores up and they still wouldn't be within cooey of Princes at the moment. Although they do get a chance here for a clearance, the Blacks, across to Offie, who's almost in the cricket pitch area. The kick to the top of the 50-metre arc. Darwood was there waiting, saying, thank you very much. Let's see what he can do. Princes with the ball in some open space. Clark,
the ball.
Great pursuit there by Noonan. Well-deserved free kick, holding the ball. Tony, what can Uni do with it?
Yeah, well, this is the kick. It's... He's just looking around there. There's still a bit of movement there. Calling at the back there was our big number 28. So nice kick out of the pocket.
Big Ben.
And it's just gone straight through the fingers. Delwood again. Tackled, slammed to the ground. Not much retaliation there, and just holding it in.
He's probably surprised at getting tackled, isn't he?
Yes, well, Prince is just setting up here in their back half, or Uni's front half. Not a lot of movement around the ball. Now a player breaks for Uni. Can they get it to him? There he is, the player that broke that I spoke about, has a snap, and he was the only player moving on that pack. He was the one that ended up, and Perryman gets an own point. So Perryman will take the kick in.
They've had about 3 of those from that position. I think they haven't got a goal out of any of them.
So streams out on that left foot, and that's a 60-metre kick, and good strong hands out there by Princes.
Yes, and it's ended up with Tommy Humphries. He kicks to the wing towards Pitt. He gets it, not sure where to go. God, all the time in the world, no pressure whatsoever. And a nice judged mark by Tommy Fisher. Just pushed the Uni player under the ball.
Jolly.
Real lack of contest. This is where the guys, they need to have touch. The uni players do not have touch on their direct opponents. Have a look. This is a coaching 101 for Benny Watkins during the week. Let's get some touch pressure on, boys.
Just very quickly, I'll tell you who's standing jolly is the umpire. Have a look. Who's the closest to him?
So this is who's got the 40, boys?
Tom Fisher.
Tommy Fisher. A fair way out. He's probably going to kick it from 45. Fair angle. Looks good off the boot. Oh, nice mark by, I'm going to go
Clark?
Pitt, but I don't think it is.
It's Ollie Clark.
It's Ollie Clark,
Yeah.
indeed.
Got told about this. He just springs out of it. I reckon he's full of fast twitch muscle fibres.
Oh,
Right. Righto. Well, he's got a bit of an angle. Moves around, kicks
Bang.
it, lays it across the boot. And Frankie has paid that, and that pushes PAC. First goal for a while, boys. Is that the scoreboard correct? Is that the first for the quarter?
It is Adelaide Uni. First goal for Princes in the quarter.
Yeah, for Princes, I mean. Yep.
So 1 goal apiece.
Okay, much better. And inside 50s, guys, 5 apiece. And Uni tackles 9 this quarter to PAC 4. So they've stepped their game up.
Yeah. So we're back in the middle. 14 minutes gone. The umpire quite happy to let players that they're not exactly sprinting to position. It's been to see what the pace of the game is like in the final quarter. We did see Rocks run all over Payneham Norwood Union last week. Again, another Adelaide Uni are certainly getting first touch of the footy. Prince's bottling them up though. This time they do get a bit of aerial ping pong. They'll get another touch of the footy. High kick in hope. Thumb from behind. Good pick up. That was Ollie Carnes for mine. Puts the ball in front. Who can run onto it? One-on-one battle. Ollie Clark there battling with Sims. Sims lost the battle but made up for it with a nice tackle. Keeps it inside 50. Jacko, as you said, that's what you want. Just keep it inside 50. Forced to stop
Yeah,
it.
much better pressure the last few minutes, Tony.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, the ground is bathed in sunshine. Thank you very much to the Elders weather app for that. 11.2 degrees they're telling us at the moment as the ball is bobbling around inside 50, and there's a free kick here
Nick
to
Langridge.
Uni. I'll tell you what, he's been battling away, hasn't he, Langridge? He's transgressed a couple of times. He just plays on the edge at times, and he's got himself into a good position here directly in front of goal. 25 out. As he just waltzes in there. Oh, a little bit of a skip. Not real sure about that. Waltzes in. And that's why. Bent the knee
Dear, oh
and
dear.
out to the right. Come on, you blokes.
He didn't want to kick it on the road, in all fairness.
Yeah, that's fair enough to scuff the ball. Mum and Dad will tell you off, and then you've got to nug it out through the week to polish the thing.
Then there's the insurance claim that comes with riding off a car. And
Yep, so Perryman to kick in once again, the left footer. This will go outside 50. You watch him. Will he play on? Does. Lack of heat. Surely they realise he's going to do that every time now, but good contest in the air. Big Tommy Bateman haven't minded his game since he's been thrown into the ruck. He's
nice recovery too. He was the biggest man in the contest and the first one to recover.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to the other ruckman, but he's spent a bit of time now on the ruck. Beautiful handball from Paynter. Finds Edward Sims. He kicks it out space side. What's happened? Is that another free kick? Yes, it is. Wow, there's some free kicks coming into the game, and this has ended up with Harry Wellington, is it, again? Going to have another shot on goal. He's got one this quarter, has he not?
He has.
The last one.
He's been the Black sole goal scorer in the last half of footy. And he's going for black to black.
Yep. They say when you go black to black, you'll never go back. Here it is. This is our chance to see it, live it, dream it, smell it, need it.
And kick it.
And he's missed everything.
He set it up beautifully.
I think he kicked that under the armpit
I think he did
of the
too.
bloke on the mark.
Come on, we can't set these up any better for the uni boys. They're letting us down.
How about pushing this front line up so he doesn't play on as much?
And look, and what you'll find is that there's a Prince's player on each side that'll block Perryman when he wants to take off, although he's taken off now.
It's pretty predictable. He's going to go long each time. Kicks out to big pack there. 2 talls. Delwood it is. I'll tell you what, he's been tackled twice this quarter, Sean. They're about 8 tackles behind Adelaide Uni at the moment. So let's just see around this ball up. There's about 5 Adelaide Uni blokes on the back of the pack, back where he hit that there. They set this up. This way, that way. It's this panic kick in that goes to grass. So take it first time he does. Oh, could have been taken high there as he slipped. They've gone backwards
Good
to
handball.
go forward under pressure. doesn't quite make a tumbling punt forward. Off the post, the flying Hawaiian.
He tried the Wells karate kick.
Geez, I reckon that was Jimmy Snooker, the wrestler there, and out it comes out now. They're away here, Princes. One kick. He's kicked into the man on the mark, so ball just bobbling around. Well recovered there, and that was Craig Pitt. He goes forward. Now they're into space because the midfield can't keep up. Larson it is. Runs in. Within 2-3 kicks, bang, easy goal. That's how you do it, folks.
Bartlett. It's almost enough to give you the pits, isn't it?
That's I reckon who started it. So,
hey,
wow.
Been waiting for that one all
kicks.
day.
Yeah, look, that was great coast-to-coast movement. They set up the loose play, and most of all, and this is the thing, when we almost saw the microcosm of the match in that last 2 minutes. I'm using big words today. We're at Uni Oval. We can do that. Uni have had their shots and have missed. Prince Alfred, they get the space, they get the opportunity, they put through a 6-pointer.
Well, 2 goals, 9 tells the story, Phil, doesn't it?
To 10-4.
Yep, so 11 to 15 scoring shots. Not all been about scoring shots, as we know. It's about momentum. We spoke about that at quarter time. Uni had the momentum in the first quarter, didn't take their chances, and copped their fair whack in the second quarter. But they fought back nicely in the last 10 minutes in this quarter. Looked ordinary in the early part of the quarter, but the last 10 minutes have been pretty good footy from Uni, other than that. Coast to coast in the ruck. The big fella's back in the ruck for Uni. Number 12, Charlie Parsons. Good to see him back up against the might of Thomas Spanovskis. And Phil, who you got there?
Oh, I've got a clearance to Uni, courtesy of Adams. A bouncing ball, eludes everyone. Running hard there. Didn't pick up the player, but it comes out to Tromans. Now ends up with Pritchard. Some good work rate. Clark goes down. Clark and Noonan's been an interesting battle in recent times.
Yep.
But enough time for the cavalry to arrive for Uni, but poor choice of kick. Craig Pitt was just roaming the defensive 50. He's got a chance to swap sides. Let's see, Tony, what Princess can create from here.
Well, 3 Buffalo girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside, and that's exactly what Prince Alfred are doing there. Out it goes to the wing. You like that one, Sean? Every now and then we get a laugh.
Yes.
So Prince Alfred have got it. They're very good with these pinpoint kicks. Guess who, Jolly? I reckon he's just close to BOG. Trots away.
Close to BOG.
Trots away. Have a look at that for a kick. Just trots away. No pressure. And they're going to have a shot from 30 out. And I'll tell you what, I could hardly keep up with that. Telling me little joke down on the back line. And look, they're in front of goal now. Now, who's this, Tom? Who's this? Mitch Wicks, is it? Who's got it? We're waiting for him to turn around.
It looks like a Wicks.
The trick with this, Tony, is you keep talking until they turn around.
Candle Wicks.
Like you knew all the time.
Yep.
And I think these are the ones we're getting the 3 bottles of wine from, isn't it, Sean?
Correct.
Wicks it is.
3 bottles. I like the idea of that.
I'll expect a bottle of Mitch and Tom during the week.
They go back a long way from the man on the mark, so he's just wandering in, walking in, setting it up here, and he's running in straight. So let's just see what happens here.
You like that? He's actually walking in straight.
He's looking at the guy in the jacket behind the goals.
That's a long way.
I don't think he'll kick it.
There you go, Sean. That's what happens when you walk, run, jog in straight. And Princes have done that twice, just that end to end.
Yep,
that's his second.
That's 2, and you've certainly outsourced your 45 seconds for 2 goals for the Candle, and he is proving a bit of a handful.
But there could be a bottle of wine in it.
Well, I'm happy to give up my 45 seconds if I get some red wine. A lover of the Mitch and Tom. Ball's going back into the centre with umpire Frankie Manicus and Jolly into the centre. I want to find out who his direct opponent is. Who do you think it is, Phil?
Well, I thought it was Langridge, but he's actually on someone else at the moment. So There's a loose Uni player in defence. In fact, there's at centre half full. Oh, who knows?
There he is.
Got a hand to it, Jolly there, and roll as a sweeper.
I'll tell you who's standing him. He's the umpire. I told you that before.
He's the captain coach. Doesn't quite finish. Langridge ends up with it. Should have given it out the back. Decides to bomb it around the corner. Not great play there. Nick just hadn't had you can't fault his work rate. His work rate's been exceptional, but a few times I think he might have selected a better option. Who's this for the ball? This is your man, Phil, is it?
Cam Pritchard.
Cam Pritchard. Spent a bit of time playing in the country. He's back now at PAC. Goes long down the line.
Oh, wow-wee.
Jake Pitt.
Wow. There's been less takeoffs at Adelaide Airport this week.
Yeah, Charlie Parsons said, you've definitely given me the pits there. Handballs away.
Yeah, legal shepherd.
Nice kick.
Connor Noonan gets the ear massage as well. Just the illegal shepherd there.
And a bad bad timing too, because Tully Kennett had the ball in his first game for the club. Tully
Wearing 82.
Wearing 82, correct.
I haven't caught a number 82 since doing some gridiron games.
Right.
Because they got
Well,
to 99
speaking of
there.
calling, away you go, Phil.
Alrighty, well the ball is on the half-forward flank.
Throw.
And umpire put the whistle away on that one. Mitch Weeks tries to move it forward. And eventually it's Hayden Jolly with the soccer, even off the ground, full of skills to a man, to Ollie Clark. As easy as that. Princes have their 12th. Clark has his second. Thank you, Tony. That's how it's done. And at the 23-minute mark, it is now a 55-point margin. And what do we have? I'm going back to our tips before. It was Sean
Correct.
who tipped Princes by 42. You're in the front seat, and I'm looking like I might be contributing something next week.
The way this tipping's going, boys, I'm going to end up 50 stone by the end of the year. It'd be nice just to put my hand in my pocket once. But, Tony, lead us from the centre bounce, mate.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jolly, he once again, I'm not sure whether the coaches are looking at this or not, but have a look at him. He's on his own. The uni guy is behind him. They actually win the tap, see? Uni win the tap, so why do you put that bloke back? And guess who gets it? Jolly. Why? What are you doing out there? Read it. Go and stand him. Put him under pressure.
It's like a soccer game where you're at
where
the
he is
centre
now.
circle and you have to be on either side of the halfway line.
And he's on his own on the half-forward line here. If they get this, which they may well do, here they go. They'll go around the outside here again.
Round the outside.
No, come on, mate. It's been used once. And that's a call of holding the ball by the crowd. And the umpire's heard it and he's given it. So Uni are going to penetrate forward here, Sean.
Right. Who's got it?
Uni.
Might be Strange, I think. Had a
Strange.
guess.
Very strange.
Looking for big Benny Edwards at the full forward. He's got 2 to beat. Makes a great contest. Follows his work up beautifully. Good tackle by Doward.
Ooh.
Gets it out.
Strange
kicks a nice left footer and finds big Ollie, little Ollie, long-sleeved Ollie, 20 metres out from goal, if that, on a 45-degree angle. I like the look of this lad.
Offie. Off spin.
Offie.
Warney. No, he was a leggy, wasn't he? He was Tim May. He was an offie, wasn't he?
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, Michael Tuck or long
Offie.
sleeves, that might be easier for you blokes.
And he has nailed that goal, and that puts Uni to 3 goals 9, chasing Prince Alfred, who are on 12 goals 4. Interestingly enough, 3 and 9 makes 12, and PAC got 12 goals. Really means nothing, Phil.
It means not much, except can you believe all of 4 of Prince Alfred's behinds were in the first quarter? They have kicked 12 straight goals. I think they've missed a couple out on the full, which always sort of is hidden in the stats.
Yep.
But 12 straight on shots is pretty good.
Yeah.
High percentage plays.
And I'm not going to harp on something, but
You are.
just so you know, Jolly's taken himself out of the middle and gone and stood one of their players. He's giving them a chance. He's gone and stood one of their
He
players
wants a
in his
challenge.
forward line. So they've changed him out. Nice, good attack on the ball there.
Will he get it
anyway,
in?
you wouldn't believe it.
He's
It's
gonna
going
end
to
up with
bobble
it.
up. Out the other side, he's gone the opposite side, has he, if he hasn't released that. So that could be holding the ball. Just taken out of there. Oh, umpire must have just blew the whistle at the same time. So Lockie Charlton it was.
No relation to Eddie. Ball thrown up. Uni tap. Goes forward. Free kick again. This time to Uni, and it goes to Benny Adams, who, I've got to say, I've admired his persistence. He's got a bit of dog in the fight and fight in the dog, Ben. Centre half back. Probably could have given a handball there. Didn't. Kicks nicely, though. Finds one of his own players out on the wing. Runs back to get the handball. Doesn't get it. A little bit stop-start here for Uni. Need to try and get a bit
That was Ryan Marini.
Ryan
Just
Marini.
looked at that.
He is out there.
Yes, have not seen much of Ryan Marini, I've got to tell you.
You'll probably find he's
Ben
got
Adams
20
again,
touches.
great contest, son, up against Jack Trengo. What was that one?
There are some players when you commentate that you just don't notice for the
Yes.
game, and you look at the stats the next time. He got 20 touches,
Yes.
and I didn't call one of them.
Yeah, no, and Ryan Marini may well be one of those, Phil. You're correct in your assumption there. Nice tap. Check side ruck play, beautiful. PAC. See you later, Tony. Go down and get the mail. Give us something.
Who would you like me to go to, Sean?
Oh, look, I think you've got to go to Uni. All we want to know is, mate, what are they doing about, Jolly? What are they doing about, What were the scores for that quarter? Much better quarter for Uni, though.
Well, yeah, was the highest scoring quarter. They kicked 2 goals for.
Yep.
Princes kicked 4 straight.
Right.
Adelaide Uni more scoring shots. Princes won the quarter.
So I'll come back to you with some stats, and I think the stats will be a lot closer than they were in the second quarter, Phil.
Just to give you the goal scorers for Princes, 3 to Charlton, 2 to Mitch Weeks, singles to Trengove, Bartlett, 2 to Jake Bitt, singles to Bartlett and Trengove and O'Donoghue and Clark. Singles for Adelaide Uni, there 3 to Harry Wellington, Aidan Offey and Nick Langridge. This is your OTR match of the day, a Sports Interactive production collaborating with Filming Footy. We'll be back after the break.
Should have that.
And welcome back. You can see there some stats all in favour of the Redmen. Jacko, you're a numbers guru, doctorate of mathematics. What have you got there?
What I've got is some interesting stats that allude to the fact that Uni much improved effort that quarter. The tackles, that was the big rise that quarter. Uni 16 tackles to PAC 10. Inside 50s, Uni 11, PAC 9, so more of the ball inside 50. Clearances 8 to PAC 4. So big turnaround. I think the first 5 minutes of the third quarter looked like, oh no, here we go again. But after that, it was a much improved effort, and if it wasn't for the fact they didn't kick as straight as PAC, they probably could have and would have and should have won the quarter, and then we would be sitting here saying they've won 2 quarters out of 3.
Just having a look at how many are coming off the bench. It is 3 for the Red Men. So
Jolly
maybe,
being one of them.
Maybe they're down 1 player.
Jolly's been told to ice up and not in his bourbon.
I think Ben Tippett's joining us next week to do some boundary riding with us. At the moment, our co-caller Tony Neal is down there. Just he's said his piece at the Adelaide Uni huddle. We'll see what he comes back with.
Got a chance to have a few words, Tony. The frustrated coach in him.
I can count 4 players coming off for Adelaide Uni, so I think they're at full strength. So we saw last week, of course, both teams lost a couple. There's Tony Neal.
So most of the scoring being done at the
northern end.
Cathedral end? Where's the cathedral? This way.
The cathedral it's the hospital cathedral pocket.
Righto.
We're on the Adelaide Oval wing. Out there is the zoo wing, and the Torrens end is to the right of screen. To the north is pretty much the North Adelaide end, I guess.
So what we don't want is a repeat of what happened in the second quarter, bruise-free footy. We want a much improved effort from Uni this quarter as the ruckman gets set to go. Umpire throws the ball up, and the big men do battle once again. It's PAC who get first hands on the ball and, unfortunately, holding the ball. And Wellington, Nicholas Cottrell kicks the ball out. Keep it alive here, Uni.
They're going to do it well with a set of hands. Ends up with Charlton, who, of course, kicked 3 goals in 5 minutes. He's running off defence. This, I think, is Noonan, who did everything right until it came to the kick, and Charlton got on the way. Now they're moving it through the middle towards the coach in Pitt. That's not quite how you take the mark at forward 50, but in the end it's going to be a stoppage. Bartlett the last at the bottom of the pack. So, no score thus far. Tony, you've been down in the huddles. What'd you find out?
Yeah, just I actually went to the Uni one, just as we see Princes coming forward here. I'll just see what happens. Trengove after it. Just tagging that player. Doesn't let go of him, does he? Just sticks to him.
Free, though.
Yeah, in the back. So, Uni coach, courage, work hard. Stoppages, they want a low surge. I'd like to know what that means. Not a high surge, but a low surge. If you're getting in towards the 50s, just launch it, because they've still had 16 to 12 shots. Uni have had 12. And he wants the forwards to move up the ground and put a contest in. He doesn't want Prince Alfred just taking marks uncontested up the ground.
Good.
So move up and go back.
Good.
And very upbeat. Spoke very well.
Yep, we'd like to see a contested game this quarter, look much like we got last quarter. Nice chip into the centre here. It's going to be a difficult mark for a handball out there would have been nice onto Connor Noonan, who's impressed at times today. What he was trying there, Connor. Maybe bend down and pick up the ball, son.
Edwards taking over the boundary.
Great pressure by Will Doward, wasn't it? He was the one who affected the first tackle and got down and made the second one.
He just bounced off once. Who's next?
Yeah. Good effort for a bloke who's probably 30-something years of age and 6'6", 6'8" he might be.
And still running strong. Throw in.
Oh,
Out of thin air, boy!
He's lost his pants.
Oh, Cottrell, he got tacked, didn't score. Not a good result if you're a Blacks fan, as that goes out now to the to the Fred Block pocket.
Good tackle.
And in the end, umpire circling and says Uni free. Here's a chance. Let's see if they can get the first goal, Tony, of this final quarter.
Well, just looking at that tackle as the ball comes in, maybe that was the low surge that he was alluding to.
So we've got biting and low surge.
Yep.
Yeah, so anyway.
Technology. Terminology even.
He's probably on 50, this player, and this is
50,000.
Ollie Carnes. Ollikins.
Mitch Ollie
Maris
Carnes.
Ollie
type.
Carnes.
Maris, sorry.
Yes, so he's outside 50, ambitious. No wind, thanks to Elders weather app. Beautiful, 11.2 degrees. He's just popped that up inside. Player led, or could be taken in the back, and we'll see Edwards. He kicked 7 last week, wasn't
No,
Sean?
this is
Yes.
It's not 28, it's 82. Oh no, it is. Sorry, my apologies. Here's Edwards.
It is if you're looking at the negative.
Yep. Anyway, it's been a while seeing between kicks for Benny. He started the game with a shot on goal, but I don't think he's kicked one today.
Do they have a medal for the leading goal scorer in the Div 1?
The Drew Litster medal, not sure to be honest with you, Phil. I'll get back to you on that. But Benny Edwards lining up.
And I tell you what, a little bit of pressure here because Jolly, look, just look out the right here. He's in the interchange. That's why Uni are having a shot. Very deliberate kick, and one of the best points seen on Adelaide Uni Oval, I'd suggest, as the electronic scoreboard ticks over to 28 points at the 3-minute 50-second mark.
Park 12, Perryman, he's got... Oh! You don't get to see that too often off the boot of Perryman. He's turned the ball over. Nice intercept mark. And this Edwards got a chance to make a 7-point play, Phil.
He has indeed. And it's like he deliberately missed the foul shot to get the ball back.
And I tell you, Sean, you can get in on Monday and get that ingrown toenail seen there, mate. That's a yelp and a half, isn't it? Righto, Phil, call us through it.
This could well be the highlight of the day for you. They've got the intercept. But they haven't converted all day until now. Uni have their 4th. They go to 4 goals, 10, that's 34. Princes, their 12 goals, 4, that is 76. 4 minutes in, and yes, the first goal of the final quarter has gone to the Blacks.
Hayden Jolly, yet to come on the ground this quarter. Looked like he was shut up shop for the quarter.
He just wants to be close to the boundary to get his beanie.
He's having a kick around with the kids with the little round ball there. So now the other thing that Adelaide Uni coach said was, in these ball ups, just hit the ball forward and leave that space open and run onto it. So maybe that was why Jolly was on his own back there. So they've set up this way again. It's almost a mirror image of each other. If they win it here, Uni, it's going to go to no one. Just 0-all there in the middle. Just about a chuck out. Trying to soccer it forward was the big ruckman for Prince Alfred. So well mopped up there.
Painter,
and
nice
that was
kick.
Painter.
Yep,
Oh,
and looks like
there.
Wellington might have it now. It looks like a PAC player's gone down there just off the ball. I think he'll be okay. One of the Uni boys is helping
Clark,
him out, which
I
is
think.
very nice. Clark, is it? Okay, we've got a
No,
ball.
Troman, sorry.
Troman's ball up. Anyway, hit forward, Uni. Unable to get hands on the ball. Ball bobs this way, that away, in true Tony style. But PAC have got it. Ball ends up with Connor Noonan, who's been quite impressive. Kicks the ball long. Langridge sits nicely, disciplined on the ground. Might end up with it here. Able to put a bit of pressure on, maybe. No, the PAC able to clear the ball away again, and well played.
So PAC, the pass into open space, bounces nice for Spanner. He gets the hand pass out to the open wing. Chance for Charlie Parsons, the big man, to get in there. Hand pass lacked a little bit of oomph. He'll get it back. That one is much better than this occasion to Keynes. They're going back to go forwards here, Uni, as Marini gets another touch. Socked by Princes, straight to a teammate. Here's the important inside 50 kick, and it's a mark taken. Inbound, and it's a raffle for Pitt, who held... for Craig Pitt, who held his ground, could have taken the shot. He's got a further man closer who fell over the grass on that occasion. It's Offie who comes in. He passes it to himself. Oh, there's a player of the day. Do we have a player of the day on between the posts? He's back with the work
He's
rate.
tried the same play.
He's trying to play it to himself. If nothing else, he's gained 50 metres and stopped me from being able to pass on. Tony, take over.
I'll tell you what, the coach had his arm around him at three-quarter time. I reckon he might have it around him again in a minute, but I don't know whether it'll be as friendly as he's just pulling himself off here in front of the commentary box, taking himself off.
Right.
And number 25 is about to come on, Edward Sims, who we haven't called much.
So the coach says, you're off, and he says, yes, I am.
The good news is, boys, Jolly at the 7-minute mark, he's back on.
Yes,
So
and I'll tell you what, he might be just changing into a short sleeve jumper there, Offie, after that. He's done a couple of runs today. So ball on the far side, bobbling around out there. Oh, geez, I'll tell you what, has he booted that on the full? He has.
It's hard to do from there.
Pushed into it, wasn't he?
Yep.
And off the boot it came. He's battled hard for them, I will say that. Language, as we articulate the language around that.
Yep, him and Adams have been, Noonan's had a bit of a go as well. They've had a few goers, there's no question about that. They're just going to live to regret that second
So
quarter.
we're talking about the Dartfish player of the day who gets the exclusive Dartfish beanie, Jacko. Does Jolly have to get a touch in this final quarter, or has he already got it?
He's probably already got it, in fairness. Hard for him to get motivated now, I would have thought. Is he back on the ground? He is. Has he gone back off, or is he still out there? Where is he? Yep, he's out the far sides. The Jolly watch. Umpire about to bounce the ball, ball the ball up, I should say. It's just outside 50 for Uni. Good contest in the ruck. And we'll have another ball up. And the game has just gone into a bit of a lull the last couple of minutes, or is that the commentators?
No, I think it's just the vibe of the whole thing. Players are starting to feel it, just their second outing. As the kick really with not much to it ends up with Prischardi surrounded by Black. Noonan decides he wants to fight for it. He's upended. Clark says my turn. Ends up with one of the bigger players in Cottrell. He goes down and just some hard work without any gain by either side on that occasion. 9 minutes gone. Princes have got the game won. It's a case of how far and who will get our beanie at game's end, Tony.
And there's a lot of players around the ball at the moment as the ball just pops out. Oh, Trengo taken high, got the handball. Oh, there's a swinging arm just in the back play there.
Yep.
I haven't minded this young guy either, Oliver Clark. He's going to get better as the season goes on. To another young player, couldn't quite evade. I think he knew what he wanted to do, but couldn't spend it quick enough. So ball's bobbling around inside 50. Princes can still capitalise. Oh, he's handballed that back to a Uni player, and he's gone into Prince's mode. He slowed right down there.
That's
number
Ryan
25.
Marini. You won't call his name, but there he is, finally. Ryan Marini, and guess who ends up with it? Jolly gets it, gives it, gets it back. Going to have another stat. You're going to have more stats in 5 minutes than the rest of the boys.
Well, he's had 2 touches. I guess he gets the beanie now.
Yes.
Right foot, left foot.
That's
Doesn't
a nice
matter.
mark. Who's ended up with that one, Phil?
Not
Prince
sure
Alfred.
from here. Yeah.
Yep.
They really have all got the same coloured boots. I wonder if that's some sort of a sponsor's deal.
Oh, not Delwood, mate. Have a look at
Trengove it is.
Big Spanner's move forward here, the ruckman. He's just wandered down inside 50, see if he can snag himself a goal here. Look at it going around here. Trengove's in there, trying to put the tackle on. Just a bomb hack kick down towards him. And guess who on the outside? Oh, Jolly
Edwards.
just couldn't quite get to it.
Look at Langridge still working hard there with the orange boots. Unfortunately, PAC end up with it again, and it's been quite impressed by this bloke. Cameron Pritchard. Oh, that was nice too. Again, Al Pitts got it and beautifully centred the ball to Mitch Larson, who was in a great position, but I'm not sure how you get given that much space inside forward 50, 30 metres out from goal, not an opponent within 5 metres. Boys, you got to be better than that defensively.
Just a quick note, Larson is going for his first goal, was one of 6 multiple goal scorers last week for Princes. When you get 6 players getting at least 2, you really are giving defenders you don't know who they got to cover.
You've got at least 12.
Yes, you do. Jacko.
He has kicked that one, Phil. That is, you're correct. Very correct. That is first for the day, and it takes PAC to 13 goals, 5. Very good kicking for goal. Another thing about their kicking for goal is they've had a lot of balls inside the channel from the point post to point post, which is obviously easier to kick. And maybe that's what's helped them, Tony. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking they've had 8 goal scorers. So it's a good even spread. The Charlton obviously has kicked the 3, but a good even spread. So ball in the middle again. So we see once again, last quarter now, Jolly's in there, but he's on the far side of the circle here. But the ruckman's facing him. Have a look.
Yep.
Facing him.
Get it here.
No. Goes to the ground. So over the back, Uni. Just put a handball into trouble there. Down on the ground, the skill errors. Got a player running past. Language it is. Gets it across to Connor Noonan. I liked his run there. He didn't give up. Geez, that's a high ball. Getting close, though. Touched on the line. He's popped that out of the air. The party tricks are on, and that's Ben Edwards' second goal. So either that or, Phil, you've ordered 2 Village pies, mate.
Yep, no,
as we're going through.
That's his second goal.
That's a great goal,
Yeah, it's his second goal above his head, and got that one missed the first.
I'll tell you what.
What?
Well, how can that be a goal in the first one?
It wasn't.
Attempted goal. That could be one of our goals of the week.
It should be.
As we go through, that was
right.
very good off the pack. And
Good chance to plug between the posts, usually out Wednesday night. Alejandro does a great job making all the stuff we do make sense. I'm coming to you, Jacko. This is my special comment from Tony. And, of course, they include goals of the week, goals of the week and mark of the week. Mm-hmm. And I think you two are doing the judging this week. As we go back to the play-by-play, and you're with 4-time premiership coach Sean Jacko Jackson.
And the ball goes back to PAC. It's ended up with Pitt, the coach. He's kicked it long to Mitch Larson again. He makes good position. Wicks gets it out, keeps alive. Bartlett, can he keep? The old man can't bend down and touch his toes anymore. He follows the ball up okay, and I'm not sure about that handball.
Oh, look at that, mate.
But if you're going to handball it badly and it ends up with the coach, I suppose you'll live with that okay. But Carson Clark for Adelaide Uni is taking the ball, kicked it long towards Connor Noonan, makes a good contest as he has done all day, keeps his feet beautifully, drives the ball long down the wing.
Just while that's
can't keep it in.
Bobbled out there, gentlemen. Now, maybe, I think it's Bartlett and myself, the only 2 people that know that. That player played on around the goalpost. You actually can't do that. That's a rule.
No, that's right.
It's in the rules.
There's 3 of us now.
Yep, alrighty. So it's a throw-in. What do we got here? It's 40. It's interesting, without the totals, I've got to do 2 levels of maths in my head, and I've got to admit, boys, I'm not back into that level.
Take your shoes off.
It is
40 to 83.
40 to 83. Thank you so much. That must be a 43-point margin. Ollie Carnes, who's been busy.
Yeah,
I
busy
think we'll enjoy his time at Adelaide Uni. Nice kick, finds a target on 50. That's all you can ask. This is Edwards. Will he think about having a shot?
Yes.
Doesn't really have the body language to show. He's going to do the team thing. Spots up Langridge, and has saved about 4 metres, and Langridge returns the favour.
No, Ollie Carnes, I think.
It's Ollie Carnes who's moved up, so... And all of that, they've gained about 5 metres, and it's the exact same angle, and well picked up, Jacko. It is Ollie Carnes.
Was a lot to see Ben Edwards have a crack at a couple of them. I can't give you any feedback on what his kick's like, because he's refused to kick any long ones today, hasn't he? When he's been on the 50, so perhaps he doesn't have a long kick. But this is a much improved effort by Ollie Carnes this quarter. He's been good, Maris, and he's on 45. Looks good off the boot, boys. That's a nice finish. Well finished.
You can see he's played at a higher level.
Yeah, that takes Uni on to 6 goals 10, or 6 goals 10, making a much better fist of it after half time, aren't they?
3 goals in this quarter makes it their highest scoring quarter, Tony. And sometimes in the final quarter you see good teams really push on and gain that percentage, but Uni are hanging in there, and that gives them some hope as they move on next week. And just very quickly, next week they don't travel too far. They travel to it's Caterer Oval to take on St. Peter's, and good luck.
Well, of course, as we said in the between the posts there the other day with the tips, it's Prince Alfred that have had to travel today, and they're doing very well as a travelling team. And I'll tell you what, Adelaide Uni, one of the things the coach said, keep the eyes up, look each other in the eyes and so on, and a couple of players said, let's win the quarter, and I'll tell you what, the way they're going, they may well do it. So I've liked this player too, Mitch Larson. He's strong, holds himself over the ball well. Trengove, 2 long handballs there. He's just going to put a player just out of bounds in front of the commentary. I'll tell you what, Sean, pretty good crowd here today as well, as we look around.
Yeah, there is. I wish we would have had to listen to PAC at 3/4 time, because last week they led apparently against Goodwood Saints convincingly at 3/4 time. Ooh. And then put the cue back in the rack in the last quarter, and that would be the case again today at this stage.
They kicked 5 goals 0 to 2 goals 3 by Goody last quarter last week.
Look at the bounce.
PAC kicked 5.
Oh.
Yep, PAC kicked 5 without a miss. They kicked 16-5 last week.
Wow.
So their conversion of opportunities, Tony, is, that's a huge advantage.
That's when the goal-kicking coach puts his hand out for a pay rise. Langridge,
Good grab there.
Nick Cottrell.
Over the back. Cottrell. Been a
Liked
bit
his game
quiet.
too.
Over it goes. Language again. Inside out Banana. No left footer. He's going to back up. He's going to get an extra player. Puts in the tackle. Bobbles around. He's done this all day long. He does have a go, and he's got a good second effort. So good on him. And what's happening here is the umpire's going to ball it up. Players are a little bit slow to get there, the midfielders. So up it goes. Prince Alfred win the tap. We're going to see a second tap now. And, of course, now the players still trotting in. They've all caught up with the game. So we're now, almost 7.5 minutes in. Umpire throws up, heads towards the boundary line. Player just doing he's got back up there. Big span of... How have you seen the rucks today, Sean?
Yeah, tall. They've been tall all day, those two.
Wow. Groundbreaking. Yeah.
Tall and competitive all day, those two.
Even from this angle.
And Marisol Khan's continues to have a good input this quarter, but that is nice around the corner from Seb Painter. In fact, that
really
is
good.
beautiful around the corner. Much reminiscent of his father, Jack, that one. Nice kick into the full forward. Ben Edwards is going to have a shot on goal. Please, Ben. Please.
Have a shot.
On behalf of all full forwards and the full forward union, do not pass this ball off.
Just while he's lining up Jacko, I'll give you a chance to take a breath before you call it. Post-game, thanks to Pro Smile Dentistry, the post-game wrap of this game, and we'll give you as many scores from around the Adelaide Footy League as they give us.
Big Benny just outside 50, moves in, got a kick from about 43 metres out, looks good off the boot, and it's home! He kicks his longest goal for the game, and that's his third for the day, Phil.
All of a sudden, goal, I think, and that's his third for the quarter, if I've got it right. Yes.
Right.
The first one did his own work with the intercept. Then he's got 3 and will be the leading goal scorer. And with 10 from 2 games, possibly the leading goal kicker in OTR Division 1.
Could they get up?
The mark.
Could they get up from here, Phil? Tony?
Just looking at Spanovkis, the ruckman, he's come off and he's really in a bit of strife there now. I reckon he might have cramp or a sore foot or something.
Right,
so
Mark Sodas from down there.
He's done a fair bit of the
shirt
work.
on and an 8-degree day. Sodas just trying to
He
show
calls
off the
some
muscles.
footy. We'll get him up here to...
Yeah.
So up it goes in the middle. Once again, Adelaide Uni win the tap. Jolly at the back. We called that right foot out to the wing, just diagonally. A little bit forward there. They're going to come back to where the ball came from. Oh, no, they're not. It's over the top. Offie can't get there. Bolden Offie there, so it's taken on the wing again. So we're seeing 3 or 4 possessions with the ball back in the same spot.
Pritchard with the ball now on the half-back flank. Left footer, I think, isn't he? No, right footer, or goes either side, switches the play over to Cameron Pritchard with the ball now. How about that? There's 2 Pritchards out there. Who would have thought?
Don't you hate that as a commentator? Welcome to the commentary world, Jack.
No wonder they won't let me call the game, folks. Tommy Sumner's got that. We've gone 33 to 32. He's looking for number 31. There's not one in the side, so he's going to have to go back to 33. Pritchard, he's looking for 32. Finds
18.
Ben
Here's the guy,
O'Donoghue.
and that was the one who had it before. Donahue and
O'Donoghue.
Pritchard have similar haircuts,
Right.
and that's what confused you when you go off the hair. Adam Perryman has it on the zoo
look
wing.
at that kick.
There's numbers here. He comes to Jolly. Jolly will do something efficient with it. Yes, he does. It's Mitch Weeks, too far out to score. Thought about going inboard. Has a second thought. Now he goes with a short one inside 50. Dobs it, and that's Ollie Clark who takes the mark. And he's saying, "Settle down, boys. I got this."
That's a beautiful kick. He spot that.
Yeah.
He spot Clark in amongst 4 players. Was able to lodge it in him. That's a good kick.
The quality of possession.
Yep.
Going to make that a stat, a QOP.
Yep, the way to kick it. And speaking of stats for the quarter, Uni 5 free kicks to PAC 2. Clearances Uni 7 to 5 as he makes his way into goal. Gone close to the man on mark.
Going to be right there.
I think that's got the journey though.
I think it has.
Heard a whistle from the umpire. Don't know why. Must have been a free kick. Doesn't matter. PAC stopped Uni's run. Phil keeps giving me the 2 fingers. Don't know what that's about. That's his second for the game. Got it right. And probably stops any chance of Uni winning the game.
A game-saving goal.
From the wing.
That pushes the margin
so
back out to 38.
Oh, 3 or 2. Okay, we're going to argue about how many he's got later on. We do have to reach a decision because Tony has to dash down and drag up our player of the game.
Well, 21 gone. Yeah, good point. Well,
I might let him sing the song.
I think we're all in agreement. So I think if you show the, let him know.
Don't put my Villies in as the prize pack. Thank you.
He'll be up here quick as a flash.
I need that as our promotional tool for the next 7 weeks.
So Uni on the far wing line, he's played on, he's ran himself into trouble. The umpire says, back you go, son.
Looks like
Back
Frank's
you go.
controlled 2/3 of the game today in the umpire. Is it just the way it's worked out, boys, or does he stand out a bit more? Has he paid more frees?
Sims into the middle, not sure, Sean. You can work on that, mate, and we'll call the footy. So
Kennett.
Ball's in the middle. Kennett it is, haven't called him much. Number 82, high and long. Can we see Edwards come out? No, we can't. So nice, strong grab back there. Way he goes, out on the right foot. Guess who?
Jolly. Oh, I'm right.
It's a jolly good call too. And so what's he going to go? Right foot, left foot? It's like Greg Phillips when he first went to the AFL. We didn't know what foot he was.
Does go right then.
Yeah.
In board.
It's an half back kick.
45 gone, and that means
Ooh,
it's
that's
me.
high.
And Woolya Bryce has got the ball. Transfers the play at the far side. Oh, in the
he
back.
should get the free, surely.
Play on, says the umpy. Beautiful kick from number 16. Strange it was indeed. And O'Donoghue clears the ball out to
What is
the
going
man
on
out
here?
his far side. You need to get to him pretty. It's a long walk from there to back up the stairs. He's going to get it back again here.
He's got his name on that footy, I reckon. He'll
He's
be
having
over
a
on
shot
the
for goal
women's.
for Uni.
The siren will go. He'll be over on the women's ground getting the kick next. With all due respect, Trengove in the middle. They're just playing that possession game, aren't they?
They're just having a practice run.
Jolly's actually gone and ran into an Adelaide Uni guy, stood him,
They're teasing.
ran away from him. He could get it back here. There it is. He actually pushed that Adelaide Uni bloke away. Turns on the left. Out it goes.
And no one's looking at him.
No, look,
Look,
here he is.
They can't run away from him fast enough.
He'd had enough at the 6-minute mark, and the coach said, you're going to have to go back on. Someone's come off injured. And he still racked up another 7 or 8 in the last 10 minutes.
He's trying to hide his hands. He's put his hands on his hips. He's saying, don't kick it to me.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
We've got leather
Nice
poisoning.
there, Craig Pitt. Craig Pitt's going to not look inside, or is he? He's looked, but Jolly's got the hands on the hips. Said,
I
don't
think
kick it
Princes
to me.
have decided Adelaide Uni's not going to touch the ball for the rest of the match.
Yep, they're playing keepy off.
But they're still structured. Look, in all seriousness, the players through the middle are still calling out, setting up. Big pack forms, bobbling around on that far side. After that ball now, Uni, and it just bobbles out way out there.
A lot of bubbling going on.
Well, it is short, and that's what happens when it's on the ground.
Hey, look, you do learn when you call to have to make up terms, just
I like
waiting for something to develop.
Bubbling.
And there's
Umpire
and then it
throws
was-
that in spinning. Look at that ball going around. It's got Jolly written on the ball. It
I
has.
guess so. He's got it.
There it is. And he runs off here. He's going to get it back if he wants it. No, this ignored. I'd be dragging that player. It's Jack Trengove for not using him.
And it's
But no, it's okay. Adelaide Uni have got it. They'll give it back to him.
Ryan Marini's got the footy now, or had it. One of the two. I think he has got it now. Ex-Pembroke and North Adelaide footballer. Spent some time at Payneham. Kicks the ball long. 2-on-1. Going to be difficult for the Uni player, but he does it. Makes a good contest. And the players look like the commentators. They look like they've had enough for the day and are ready to shut up shop. But
I'm ready to go.
Four
I just
balls
made the
left,
call.
didn't he, yet, Sean?
Wicks
Come
to
on,
Pitt
mate. Lift.
to
Come Jack,
Woollard.
fire up here.
Around the corner. Can he take it? Tommy Bartlett. Yeah. Oh, Tommy keeps his feet though. Still in the contest. Oh, he may get a free kick. Give him something, Frankie Manicus. Nothing. Nothing.
Have a
Nothing
look.
going on. The ball bobbing. Phil, I'm confused.
All right, so it's picked up by Noonan. Noonan's got a player out there. This is Ethan Moore. Ethan Moore's got a run. Here come Uni on the rebound. Lewis Parker spots up Langridge, who's been up and about for most of the day. Langridge, his kick, though, intercepted by Craig Pitt, who rides the bump, puts the hand pass in hope for brother Jake, who couldn't pick it. Picked up now by Charlie Langridge. They're out on the other side. Ollie can. He puts it towards the goal square. Off he is lurking, but it spills out of bounds. We hit 26 minutes. Uni will win the quarter. Princes will win the game.
And
Tony.
I'll tell you what, Langridge just picked himself off the ground. Didn't have cramp, but looked a bit tired. A little bit different this week. The fitness of the players has really stood out. They're still playing good football, still using the ball well by Prince Alfred, of course. And Uni are battling on, but there's a kick up the Pit. That'll get you going next week. Maybe not now because it was spoilt. But, yeah, good to see the players really push themselves through that final last couple of minutes of the quarter. So what are we, 52 to 90? So Uni have come back a little bit there. 48 points, 38 points.
We talked that Adelaide Uni have got St Peter's next week at St Peter's. Princes are at home to Ross Trevor.
Oh.
Well, that could be a good game based on last week's form.
So
Jolly's
bobbling
tried
around
everything.
there,
He kicked the last ball out, tried a kick in, which is something only thing he hadn't done all day. He's now ticked that off the list.
Next week we're heading off to Goodwood. What'll be an interesting battle for the finals. We'll see the results end of game. Goody Saints and Port District, the live stream from Goodwood from 2 p.m.
Well, Port Districts were certainly up and about at half time today, weren't they? Making short
15
work
goals
of
round the corner.
Athelston. It's a good goal around the corner, that. Who's ended up with that?
Edward Sims, I reckon, or Thomas Bateman?
Edward Sims.
Simsy
Sims it was. So nice little goal around the corner there as we see Adelaide Uni not giving up. Have they won the quarter?
By a mile.
Is he related
By
to
a
Trevor
mile.
Sims or Stephen Sims?
This quarter, Adelaide Uni have kicked 5 goals, 1. Princes have kicked 2 goals, 2.
Yeah,
Well, there you go. Win the quarter. That was what they spoke about at three-quarter time. It's a good sign to see they haven't just thrown the towel in, because it could have really blown out. And I think, Sean, you alluded to it, the second quarter pretty much set it up for Princes.
Yep, I'm in danger of being overtaken in the tip for the day at 38 points. Is that still the margin?
No, it's not. It's 32.
32. What do I have, Matt?
You tipped 30. You tipped 45. Tony's got 35. Tony
Thank goodness.
gets the win.
Oh.
As do Princes.
You were so excited for Tony, and good on you, but it means you're the loser, Phil, and that's all that counts in terms of buying.
Still got another week.
Don't say that just yet. We'll get to that
hello.
shortly. But to
Hello.
the game itself, it is over, and it was a dominant second quarter, proved the difference. Prince Alfred 14-6-90, Adelaide Uni 8-10-52. That is a 38-point margin in favour of Princes. And Tony, you've got a job to do. I think you know where you have to go.
Hayden Jolly.
Yes.
There
good
he is.
choice.
I'm going to piggyback him up the stairs of the what do
like
you
to
call
see
that
that.
thing? Grandstand. Yeah, it was only about 5 steps, mate. I'll do it.
Yep.
No, good on him. He played a really good game there, and we'll get him up here. We'll let him go and sing the song first of all.
Yep.
And then we'll get him up here and we'll ask him a few questions. I'm interested in why no one went near him, so I might have a bit of a
Just
problem
have a
finding
smell
him.
and just see whether
Yeah.
it's, used the
We'll
deodorant.
find out if he
I
brings him
might
back up
have
here.
a problem there getting him.
It was that final quarter. Princes did kick 2 goals, 2. Adelaide Uni kicked 5 goals, 1. As mentioned, the final margin. Well, we've got 8-10. The scoreboard says 7-10. So let's just check the goal umpiring. I think the goal umpires might be
Conferring.
conferring. We got 7 or 8. I've got 7. So I think it is 7 goals, 10. Anyone got 8 goals at all?
Only off the
Only
chart
off the screen,
here.
okay.
So 7's that put closer to me winning the...
It does.
Thank you.
That difference is the difference.
As long as I'm not shouting this week, is that
You're
right?
not- you are receiving, and I'll be giving, and it's all good with the world. Let's just replay that final score. It is Princes 14-6-90, Adelaide Uni 7-10-52. We're on air for about another 28 minutes. We are going to take a break. We'll let Hayden Jolly sing the song, although, Tony, I wouldn't let them get too far because Princes are changing in the other change rooms.
You got a lot of walk on your hands.
And we'll be back maybe with the best player or a very long summary from Jacko with all the Dartfish stats. Our Pro Smile Dentistry post-game wrap will be up after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Here we are, University Oval, home of the greatest footy club in the world, but not today. Today it was the Princes reigning supreme. Prince Alfred Old Collegians 14-6-90, Adelaide Uni 7-10-52. Phil Hurden and Tony Neal. Sean Jackson's gone off to save the world, as he does, but he has left us some best players to talk about. Before we do that, maybe let's just have a look at some of the stats on this competition. You can see in the final quarter there that inside 50s, turnovers, tackles, many of those stats. Adelaide Uni finished strong, and that's a good sign for them going forward.
They did well with 3 goals, of course, by the full forward up there as well. That was Ben Edwards. Finished off quite well, so you'd expect that their stats would be higher having that last quarter. They had turnovers 9 all in there. Interesting one that I like looking at. The hit outs, their ruckman was very good today. I thought he was winning the taps, but they couldn't capitalise then, so Prince Alfred were actually picking up on the taps. Tackles quite strong in that last quarter, 14-13, so they improved on their tackling. We see 9-7, 16 in the third quarter and 14 in the last quarter. Centre clearances 4-3, so not a lot there. Clearances around the ground, that's where Prince Alfred really shone. Although Adelaide 9-7 in that last quarter, so they just did Princes maybe take their foot off the accelerator a little bit. Adelaide Uni picked up a little bit, so pretty much the game was done, wasn't it?
And when you look at that column, the quarter 2 is the one that really stands out. 12-5 inside
Huge.
50s in particular. And Prince Alfred from 12 inside 50s kicked 8 straight goals. They really took the game by the bit and had it won pretty much at halftime. But Uni kept it respectable, and that gives them something going forward. We might just have a look at some of the... I'll give you the goal scorers whilst you just get your last thoughts about some best players. The goal scorers, Lockie Charlton, 3 led the way for the Redmen, followed by Mitch Wicks, Jake Pitt and Oliver Clark. Had 6 multiple goal scorers last week, 4 this week. The single goal scorers were Ben O'Donoghue, Tommy Bartlett, Jack Trengove and Mitch Larson. For Adelaide Uni, 3 to Ben Edwards. They were all in the final quarter. Singles to Harry Wellington, Edward Sims, Aidan Offey and Nick Langridge, who kicked a goal in the first quarter, and then there was no Blacks goals for about a half of footy. Some of the key players, some of your better players, how'd you see it?
So for Adelaide Uni, Connor Noonan played very well down back there, number 5, in and out at times because the ball was coming in so often, but very good with his decision making and quite strong and hard at the ball. Very well balanced as well. He's got one of those bodies that can keep his feet very well. Ben Adams as well down there was very good. Charlie Parsons, so he was the ruckman. He gave first use of the ball. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalise on this, as we said. So he was very competitive, particularly in the first half. In the second half, he was still working hard to get to the contests and so on and around the ground, but it was mainly his tap work that I looked at. Jack Kynes was in and out, number 22. Ben Edwards, pretty much that last quarter. He competed well, and I know the coach was saying to him push up the ground, which he was trying to do, but last quarter he kicked 3 goals there, so honourable mention if you like. But the big one that stood out was number 29, was Langridge. He was we were calling him so often through the day. I tell you what I did like with him, Phil, is that he'll get a possession here and he'll run 30 or 40 metres and he'll be at the next contest again, and he'll be just as hard at that contest as he was at the first one. So Adelaide Uni, we move across to Prince Alfred. Well, where do we start here? So our first, of course, was Hayden Jolly. We mentioned him in the call. Leather poisoning, we call that. He had so many possessions, and a lot of those free possessions as well. Great delivery of the ball. The next one, of course, was Jack Trengove. So if we look, we've got some stats on Jack. 16 kicks, 19 handballs and 10 marks. Plus 1 goal, so he did very well. I guess his direct opponent Painter had 21 touches as well, so we pretty much saw Trengove from second quarter onwards really get going, didn't we?
Slow start, absolutely mesmerising in the second quarter, and then was busy in the second half.
And then Will Delwood had a great first 3 quarters. Last quarter he didn't have to do too much, to be honest, but wow, he really got them going through that, particularly second and third quarter. But his first quarter, if you go back and look at the tape, very good defensively. Even in the first quarter we see him punching the ball out of bounds, just those little defensive things. Mitch Larson, liked him, number 1. Nice penetrating left foot kick, fed the forwards well, and then at times we saw him so free in the forward line. He got in for 1 goal there. The other one, Oliver Clark, so we were a little bit of an excitement machine. I called it. He's probably full of fast twitch muscle fibres, little light guy, came up with 3 goals. Number 21 he was. Plays on the wing. They told us that he can get up and take a good mark, and we saw that a couple of times today, so very good player there. And the other one was their best last week was Cameron Pritchard. So number 33, got a fair bit of the ball as well. Good users of the ball, Phil, around the ground. And the other one I didn't mind, I probably called him a fair bit, but realised he's taking the fullback kick-ins, but Adam Perryman, another left footer. So they were our better players on the day, but a good even spread. I think there was 8 goal kickers through Prince Alfred there.
Wow. All right. Yeah, well, that's right. And they had it with 6 multiple ones. This time they had 8 individual ones. Did they put the cue in the rack early? I'm not totally sure, but, you know, if we came to the game today expecting a margin of about this size, we probably expected a wetter day, maybe a little bit more scrappy. It was more open flowing. Prince Alfred were able to get plenty of open space once they got their work rate up. And, you know, their prime, Adelaide Uni showed in patches that, you know, they may occupy the lower half of the table, but if they can get a winning run together, they might just challenge for maybe that 5th spot if they get lucky against some of the lesser ranked teams.
And we called it during the call, probably 70% of today was what we call bruise-free football, wasn't it?
Yep.
Prince Alfred are so good at using the ball, and one of the things we spoke about last week with fatigue is you drop the ball 10 metres short of a player on a kick as you're getting tired towards the end of a quarter or a game. We didn't see a lot of that today. A lot of particularly from Prince Alfred, their kicking is precision, and they like to set up and come around one way, maybe back through the middle, out the other side. It's a bit hard to predict if you're an opposition team trying to, if you watch back on this tape, how they're going to use the ball, because they've got so many elite users of the ball out on the ground. They can pretty much go 2 or 3 options.
All right. Post-game shows brought to you by Pro Smile Dentistry. That's our wrap of this game, but of course the Adelaide Footy League, a huge competition. Let's have a look at some of the other scores here. And Ross Trevor Old Collegians that travel to Park 9 next week to take on Prince Alfred. That is a 6-goal win against the Jets up at Campbelltown. A big game at Edwardstown Oval.
Wow.
Brighton by a goal. And the reigning premiers start zipping 2, and the Bombers are undefeated.
That is a big win for Brighton. We sort of mentioned that last week when they had that win.
Goody Saints. Now let me just do the quick maths here. Another close result. St. Peter's have got up by just 6 points. It was Goody Saints 11-13-79. St. Peter's would be 13-7-85.
80 lot.
Yeah, so that's not bad. Port District and Athelston, well, that's a huge win. 22 goals, 12, 24 goals. That's, well, good signs for Port District. We do see Port District 1-1, Goody Saints zipping 2, but competitive next week. Goody Saints could be the 3rd best team in the league. They've lost to Prince Alfred. They've lost to St. Peter's. They'll look forward to being at home next week, and obviously they'll look forward to us being there. And then, of course, our game, you can see there Prince Alfred by 7 goals. You want to just quickly talk through, we are up against the time, what's happened in Div 2 and 3 from the scores we've got.
Div 2, we've got Tea Tree Gully. I thought I was looking at the final score there. 5 goals, 10. Broadview, 4 goals, 7, 31. So that's a 5-10-40 to 4-7-31, so a 9-point win there. Salisbury North, 7 goals, 3, 56. Foss Camden, big win, 10 goals, 17-9, 111. Henley, 60. We haven't got the goals and points, but we've got 60 versus Sacred Heart, 53. Scotch OC, very straight kicking, 13 goals, 4, so 17 shots to 19. Defeated Old Iggy's, 9 goals, 10. And Seaton Ramblers, geez, is that correct? Seaton Ramblers, 175, Glenunga 97, so 78-point winners.
Raining goals at Webb Oval by the looks of it. And we just got the one score from Div 3, sorry.
So Westminster 12-12-84 over Plimpton 7-9-51.
So the Dragons on the board, and my beloved Bulldogs are yet to get a win. Div 4, Pembroke Old Scholars, they beat Kilburn by 14 points. And Pulteney are on the board with their first win. That was by 38 points over Woodville South. Div 5, just the one score come in so far. West Croydon go to 2-0. They're 18-8, 110. Smithfield 10-15, 75. That is a 35-point win. In Div 6, St. Paul's. A couple of people thought that Houghton might get the job on St. Paul's. No. No. It was St Paul's by 89 points, if you don't mind, over Houghton Districts. The match of the round for mine in Div 6 was Marion Elizabeth, who won their opener. It was Elizabeth who made the long trip down to Marion, winning there by 23 points, which leaves us with Div 7 in the men's, and it was the only score we've got in so far. Adelaide Lutheran by 72 points. That is over OSB Lonsdale, so Adelaide Lutheran recording their first win of the season. Now, don't forget, folks, midweek Between the Post will be out Wednesday night. We'll give you all the action from all the divisions, all our tips and previews and reviews. There's a lot that happens over that 90 minutes, including the goals of the week and the marks of the week. So if you played footy this weekend, you might well be on our show. Make sure you check it out. Tony, we've got to wrap it up. Any last words from yourself?
Just going to say, we may have seen goal of the week out here today. May have. Let's just wait until we get the tapes. I don't want to preempt it.
It's a big competition.
She was a ripper.
It is indeed. So that's the post-game wrap, thanks to Pro Smile Dentistry. Want to thank all the broadcast crew that's here today. I know we've got Lockie, I know we've got Brody. There's always one gentleman I always forget. Alejandro as well, pushing all the buttons. Thank you, Alejandro. It's Jacko, of course, who's gone off to save the city as he so often does. This is Phil Hurden on behalf of the Sports Interactive Filming Footy team, saying thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week from Goodwood when the Saints host Port Districts. Good night from University Oval.